Hello and welcome to the Video Game Dads podcast. This is episode 47, guys.
Woo!
Woo, woo. So we're three guys in a basement that talk dadding, video gaming, and everything in between.
That's us.
Yep.
And if you'd like to get a hold of us, you can email us at Benjamin.
VideoGameDads@yahoo.com.
Or you can find us on Facebook at Shane.
Facebook.com/VideoGameDads.
All right. How you guys been?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Not too bad. Living life.
Yeah.
Tired. Super tired.
Super tired.
Yeah.
Chasing children. Working lots in the sun. 100-degree weather.
Hey, yeah. We'll keep it clean. Just so you guys know, no cussing. We are a family-friendly podcast. Shane.
What? Did I?
No, I'm just
Oh,
messing
I was
with
like, oh, boy. Did I?
You're
Really?
talking about yourself getting all out in the sun. You're getting all the female listeners hot and bothered.
I did lose like 15
That's right.
pounds.
He's out there drinking Diet
Yeah.
Coke.
Oh, yeah. No, Diet Dr. Pepper. That's my jam.
Is that
man.
Diet Dr. Pepper?
Oh,
I don't
man.
think there ever was a commercial of Diet Dr. Pepper and a guy working out in the sun, though.
I wasn't. No.
No, that,
Yeah, it
was,
was
that was
more-
Diet Coke.
Yeah,
Was
it was
Diet Coke
who's
there
the
as one?
lady with
There's
Yeah,
a-
don't you remember that Coke commercial back in like the early
It's
90s?
the one with the mole on her face. What was her
Oh,
name?
Cindy
Oh,
Crawford.
Cindy
Yeah,
Crawford.
yeah.
Cindy
That was
Crawford.
Pepsi, I think. Was
Yeah,
Cindy
that was
Crawford.
Pepsi, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, there was the Coke commercial that had some headlines where there's a guy without a shirt on and there were like women in an office building like
Really?
watching the guy working. You don't remember that?
Yeah, I think it was on the show called Your Dreams last night.
Oh, sing!
Yeah.
Got him.
That's what you get me in DJ. I'm calling commentary this time. Woo woo. Man. Anyway, what we got on tap there, Adam, for this show?
So we're going to talk a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about our video game book club picks.
Yeah.
Of Lost in Shadow for the Wii and Stubbs
Stubbs.
Stubbs the Zombie Rebel without a pulse.
without a pulse
Awesome.
for the OG Xbox.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a little PolyMega. We're going to talk a little MoGameCon.
Yep.
Yeah. A little summer lovin'. We'll
Yeah.
talk about some summer games, summer things we like to do, some summer video game memories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you already said our handheld holo, right?
Yeah, handheld all being there.
And that might be it. We're going to have a little bit of an expedited episode. We're sorry we didn't get... This is only the second time, I think, guys, of 2019. Only the second time we weren't directly on schedule.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, we're doing
It's not bad, and it's mostly my fault. I was out of town last week.
No,
so.
and I actually had I couldn't do it for I really couldn't because my wife went out of town for a girls' weekend, and that went terribly. Did I tell you guys about this?
No.
Oh, huh.
She set up this girls' weekend. You know, she's pregnant. New listeners, here you go. Here's the background of it. No, I was just like, you know, if you didn't know, she's preggers. And she set up this girls' weekend to go to Michigan, and then it was she connected in Chicago, and all the flights in Chicago got canceled.
Oh, what?
So she couldn't go. So stinks for her. She had to come back, but we tried to do a little like still have a spa day, and she got to hang out with her sister, but she didn't get to actually leave, unfortunately.
Oh, but she got to visit O'Hare.
Yeah,
That place
right.
is- I hear
and
O'Hare
come
is
right back. Yeah.
beautiful this time of year.
Yeah.
That stinks. Man.
Yeah, just to think if her connection would have been in another city, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But you know, she knows at the end of the day it like super stunk. But like, you know, with her, she kind of messed up her foot as well. So she was kind of in a foot boot, pregnant. She's not going to wing it. You know, that's when you're in your 20s. You're like, oh, go for it. Like, let's just throw a dart. Did I tell you? I went on a vacation once with a bunch of high school friends in high school, and we threw a dart. And then we went where the dart went.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the first dart we let what's her name? I forget now. It's high school, but she threw it and landed in the ocean, so we're not going to the ocean. And the next one we thought landed in Mexico, but then when I went up there to grab it, I was like, no, it's San Antonio. So
Nice.
we went to San Antonio.
Oh, San
And five of
Antonio.
us who did not have a spring break, our senior spring break was San Antonio. It was a great freaking vacation. Like,
Really?
we weren't old enough
Nice.
to drink. You know, we had like hotel room fun and
Yeah.
got schwasties in the hotel,
Yeah.
like underage, whatever. That's everybody does it. We're gonna hate it when our kids do it, but like everybody did it, whatever.
nothing you can do.
But it was a lot of fun.
Heck
SeaWorld,
yeah, man.
like doing like being in a car, doing walkie talkies. Oh my god,
You did
Yeah,
walkie-talkies
dude.
we did
behind the
walkie-talkies in
cars.
the car.
That's so lame.
Yeah, it was
No,
so lame.
I love doing walkie-talkies
Yeah, I
with my
remember
brothers
that
and stuff.
too,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a fun. But like now we'd never do that anymore. We plan. We're planners.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen for
I
our
don't plan
kids.
anything.
Those who fail to plan, I don't know. It's look it up. It's a freaking Einstein thing. He said those that fail to plan should plan on failing. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yay. It took
Words
20.
of wisdom.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It took a long way to get there. But anyway, yeah.
Pro tip.
Yeah,
Lamest pro tip.
I got a cool vacation plan.
Yeah,
coming up.
What's up? Share
So
it.
my wife and I have gotten to where we've been doing these little trips like on the weekends or whatever. So right before the last podcast, I took a 1-day trip to Manhattan.
Yeah, Adam. And when we introduced ourselves, didn't we?
Yeah, I think. Well, we did it in a roundabout way. I
Okay,
guess.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
but,
Okay, go ahead,
yeah.
Adam.
But my wife and I we took a 1-day trip to Manhattan. So I was in Manhattan for 16 hours
Yeah, nice.
and went and watched a concert and then flew back.
Manhattan, Kansas?
No, Manhattan.
Manhattan proper.
Yeah, Manhattan proper,
Nice.
like Times Square kind of.
Oh.
The Big Apple, not the Little Apple.
The Big Apple.
Do they call themselves a little apple?
Yeah, Manhattan, Kansas. Yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
We're
lame.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so awesome.
But no, so I was there for like 16 hours. Went and it was an MXPX show, which
Yeah.
people who've listened to the podcast know I'm a fan. But in any respect, we watched that or went to the show, flew back, and so now they have a show in on Ontario, Canada,
That'd be cool.
in September with the Offspring, and so we're gonna fly to.
Are they all? I thought someone from the Offspring is no more above the earth.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
if that's the case or not. I don't follow the Offspring that close.
I don't
but-
either. I did, but,
But
it's been a while.
but we're gonna land in Buffalo, New York, and fly. I mean, we're flying to Buffalo, New York, and then we're gonna drive up into Canada.
Cool.
See Niagara Falls.
Check out a
go
Bills
to-
game.
yeah.
Go to a show, and then fly back.
Nice. Buffalo. You have to tell me how Buffalo is. If it's everything everybody says
Maybe I'm
it
gonna
is.
eat some chicken wings while we're there. We'll see how that
Yeah.
goes.
Buffalo's known for chicken wings?
That's where chicken wings got their name.
Buffalo wings.
Buffalo
man.
wings, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's okay, man.
Dang,
I used
now
to,
I feel dumb.
dude. Here, don't feel dumb. Don't feel dumb because my in middle school I thought like buffaloes had these little things up on the underneath their little hump.
Yeah.
And I thought that's where their wings were.
Oh,
I
okay.
just thought they were like evolution smalled out.
You know, I remember
there
watching
you go.
like
you
all
don't have to
those.
feel stupid anymore.
Okay.
'cause I
All
was
All those
super
Super
stupid.
Bowls
Thank you,
back
thank
in
you.
like
Makes me feel good.
all the Super Bowls back in the '90s, like the Buffalo Bills on.
Yeah.
I remember watching like
Four
one
in
of
a
those
row,
with my
baby.
dad, and
4 in a
being-
row.
Yeah, 4 losses in a row.
Oh.
Sorry, Buffalo. But
Giants, Redskins, twice the Cowboys, right?
but I remember because there's like Buffalo Bill, like the cowboy show guy, Buffalo Bill,
Yeah, yeah.
like
Yeah.
the dude.
yeah. With the
So
guns.
whenever I remember
He's also
watching,
known as Ocelot. Go ahead.
but I remember watching like those Super Bowls with my dad when I was a kid and being like, "Dad, what city are the Buffalo Bills from?"
Oh yeah.
Because I thought it was just like Buffalo Bills, and he's like, "They're from Buffalo." I'm like, "No, what city are they from?" And he's like, "They're from Buffalo." I'm like, "Dad, what city are the Buffalo Bills from?" And it took me like a solid year to figure out like Buffalo is the city that the Bills are in, and the Bills is just the name of the team.
yeah.
But the mascot is a buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So the mascot really should just be like dollar bills because they're just the Bills.
If
the
they
name
were-
of the team.
If they were called
Yeah.
the Buffalo Buffaloes, then I think that was stupid. But
That,
they did something right. They
yeah.
got Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly was a heck of
yeah,
a
Jim Kelly
quarterback.
was cool. Yeah.
Jim
Even
Kelly
though he
was-
was against our man Dan the
Yeah,
Man.
Dan the Man.
He beat
Laces
Dan
out,
the Man.
Laces out, Dan.
He beat
Dan.
Dan the Man in playoff time like 3 times. So I
Yeah.
can't say much crap on him.
There's a lot of people beat Dan in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, not so much. It's just a running game. You need a running game come winter, man. He
You
played
need a
fine.
team. You need a team.
Yeah, you
a
do.
whole team.
All right. Well, we're getting way
Yeah,
off here. But anyway, yeah. So, what do you say we get started, huh?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Some video game book club.
Yeah. Let's move on to our video game book club.
Did I forget to invite you to the pool party? Well, maybe next year.
On those occasions when you need to make a big splash, there's the Super Soaker 100. It has a powerful air pressure system,
Oh, Buffy!
a range of up to 60 feet, and a drenching spray. The Super Soaker 100,
It's a water gun of a higher caliber.
also the 50, or the ultimate, the 200.
All right, and this episode is brought to you by Super Soaker.
Super Soaker.
Made by what? I don't know.
I don't know. Is it Whammo?
I don't know. We just cashed the checks. We don't. we don't look too close.
Oh boy, we're not
I
getting
do
that
know
check next
the
month,
original
so.
Super Soaker 50 or 100. It was yellow with a green and then bottle, and it would look kind of like a Ninja Turtles gun. You know that classic one that looked like a 2-liter bottle.
I always blew the sills out like on every one of them that I got.
Oh really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, because if you overpump them, you know,
Sure.
eventually you kill them. But it was funny because the original ones were like, it was like the 50, which is a small one. They did them like dirt bikes. They
Yeah.
named them
Yeah.
like dirt bikes. So it was a 50, a 100, a 150.
I like the 150.
And then
Yeah,
it was
150
like
is a
it
nice
was
size.
like a Cold War arms race of water guns, because they'd be like, oh, that only has 2 tanks. Well, this one's got 3, and then
Yeah.
eventually they had like guns with like 4 tanks on them. I
Or
had a
backpack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
they start
backpacks.
backpacking this.
I
things.
had,
Yep,
I had that. I had the one that you could aim the nozzle
That's
sideways.
the one I had the little handle on the
Yeah,
bottom. and-
okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember
Yeah, so
that.
the
You can shoot around the
front
corner.
trigger
Yeah.
that looks like you're shooting, you can shoot sideways, so somebody next to you would think that you're in front of you, and you can shoot them right to the side. Yeah, that was awesome.
Super Soakers are probably one of my worst things to buy at garage sales. I buy them every time, like the old ones, and I find them pretty regularly and
Yeah,
never work. And they're
Oh,
always
really?
leaking. Always, so I have to give them the kids, and they play with it for a day, and then they break it.
Yeah,
It's
man,
like,
they
there
don't
you
make
go.
toys like they used to.
They're dripping anyway, so go ahead, have some fun for a day.
Yeah, we've been doing. I mean, for now, because Sebastian's like 2, so we've been doing the little plastic pool and like going outside.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just sits in it and plays with it because they have
Yeah.
pool time at the thing. It's fun. I've now become the dad that sits next to a little kid in a kid pool. I'm fine with it. It's fine.
Man, I'm
Yeah,
about
we
to-
do the little kid pool, but I bought like a pack that has like the little kid pool, but then also has like the a slip and slide.
So inside.
Yeah.
Sort of thing next to it. And slip and slides are just like a recipe for I mean, I remember this as a kid too, and it never really bothered me at all, but like my kid, you always slide off the end of it and they get like carpet burn from the grass.
Oh yeah.
On the other
But you
end.
keep going.
Yeah, you just keep
I like
going.
to-
But like
yeah.
every time I get it out, like he gets done, and I'm like, I'm so sorry that you're carpet burn from head to toe. From the grass out of
you
the
know,
yard.
it's,
He
it's the
doesn't
price
care.
you pay.
Yeah.
You don't call them slip and slide. You call them like the bruise and abrasion machine.
Yeah,
That's all
they-
that is.
They really are. It's like wee, and then
yeah.
Yeah, my wife bought this tower thing for the kids. Is like, what are you doing?
Tower. Explain.
Yeah, it's like, so you have to like climb up like, I don't know, like 5 to 8 feet, and then it swings
5 to 8 feet?
Yeah, 5 8 feet, and then swings you around into like this little baby pool type thing. I don't know.
So this is 8 feet off the ground.
It's like 5 or 8 feet, man. It's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so you have to like put stakes in the ground to make sure it stays in there, because when they get up top, so there's like a fountain up above, and it rains down on the slide, so it makes it real slick for them.
Yeah.
Dude, the kids get zooming off there, and then they go flying in the grass, so they get grass burn. And everything.
it's amazing the things that you do as a child and live through.
Yeah. I don't. Right now.
If I did that right now, like
No.
I would be crippled for like.
No, would you?
a week.
We had one of those big, like whatever they were, 16 or 20 foot trampolines, like the big huge trampolines, are like 4 feet off the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, we used to we did the slip and slide and all that kind of stuff too. But we used to get dish soap.
Oh yeah.
And
I
put
did too.
dish
Yeah.
soap all
Yeah.
over the trampoline.
Yep.
And then just like crash into each other.
Yeah.
And be sliding. We'd fall off of it, all the time and everything else. If I did that today,
No way.
yeah, you'd have to push me around in a chair for like
Yeah.
an entire week.
I was telling you, I did yard work. I got all that mulch out front. I mulched, and then I couldn't walk the next day.
That's like the best dad injury ever. It's like this. Don't laugh, guys. It's a mulching injury.
Well, no, it's like I'm doing something good for the benefit of the honeydew list. And what's my thing? I just have to like be. This is all this podcast is going to turn into us complaining. This will be
We're
fun.
really
I
turning
know.
in some dads now.
Yeah.
I was drinking the Metamucil the other day.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait till actually my kid gets old enough we could start doing yard work like together. And I know that means he'll just be goofing around and I'll be doing all the work. and
That's
stuff,
exactly
but-
the way that goes.
But that's
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay with that. It's just, we don't have like not yards. We don't have fenced in areas and that kind of thing. So I used to have a slip and slide that we would do for not even that long ago, 3-4 years ago. But 3-4 years ago, when you get in your 30s, it's like might as well be 10 years. I used to do slip and slide. Now all I think about is like, oh my god.
I came over for
hot.
one of those, man, and I
yeah.
I went down there super fast. You
wasn't
got like this
fun?
big goalie thing, or
Yeah.
like in the backyard you have like a 5-foot drop off into like the
Yep.
what is that? The little runoff area.
yeah, it's the
like
little,
drainage area.
yeah.
I almost went flying into that thing.
Isn't that
I was like,
awesome?
okay, I'm gonna tone this back a little bit.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, you must have been to the last one. that
Yeah,
I
the
had,
very
which
last
was
one you did, I think.
many years ago. But I'll go and buy a tarp at what is it? The what the frick is that called?
The old Home Depot?
Yeah, Home Depot. And you buy a big old plastic tarp,
Yep.
100 feet, fold it over. You get some steaks, but make sure they're the thin steaks and put it down deep. Get
Yep.
some foam noodles for the side. So it's like you bumper so you can't fly off the side.
Yeah.
I had it perfect. But kills the grass underneath it, and I feel like I'm killing the planet because you got all that plastic and everything left over. But once the kid gets older, I'll do it again. It was fun.
It was
though.
awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Super cool, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about doing it anymore though, because my back would be like,
Right?
yeah,
I know.
I need some support on my
I
New
know.
Balance or what? No. What's dad shoes? What dad shoes are
New
there?
Balance. It's
Yeah,
New
is it New
Balance.
Balance?
New
Oh
Balance
gosh.
Asics.
If I
Yeah.
if I start wearing those, guys punch me in the face.
No, I think
please.
you need some white New Balances.
No.
with a New
No.
Balance that's baby
No, man.
blue with the N.
No.
The N is blue.
Sweatpants and Crocs. Yeah.
That was
That's
dad
almost
15 years ago.
Yeah.
Crocs might be a millennial thing now.
I think that's like
so
grandpa
out, it's
stuff
back
now.
in.
Are they?
Yeah,
Is that-
I think it's grandpa thing.
Yeah, Crocs are legit. I used to wear those in the winter, and I got a concussion wearing Crocs. That's how stupid I was because I was like, these are so comfortable. And I went outside to go get the mail, and I went floop and hit the back of my head. And I'm like, oh crap, I can't go anywhere.
Damn you, Crocs!
I know. Yeah. If you ever fall into water in Crocs or whatever, and then they find you like floating in a pond,
Upside down.
you'll just be like upside down. It'll be like you're standing on the water, but the opposite direction.
like a
And that's why they're
bobber and
called
you're the
Crocs.
worm.
You're
Yeah.
just a little peak heading up. That's all there is.
They're just styrofoam sandals.
I never get in
The
Crocs
Best
either.
idea ever.
Yep.
Yeah, you never getting them.
I used to own a pair. Yeah, when I lived in Minnesota, I had a pair of the fuzzy Crocs.
Oh,
Yeah, fancy.
jeez, I bet your feet smelled great.
Oh man, they were awesome. We didn't do the slip and slide when I lived up in Minnesota, but I had a big hill in my backyard with really steep, but we would me and a bunch of my friends would get together like in the winter after the snow and do like inner tubes down the hill or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was really fun until we hit my neighbor's chain link fence and like we went through the fence and like got stuck underneath it, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
like we peeled up underneath it. I got all kinds of chewed up on my aside from destroying my neighbor's fence, which was a whole other thing. But
Yeah.
but that's what you have to do in Minnesota when there's nothing else to do and there's a lot of snow.
Yeah, no kidding. Shout out to our fans in Minnesota.
Yeah.
What are we doing? We're talking about our video game book club. Maybe
Video
we
game
should
book
get
club.
to that.
Yeah, we
have
better get to that.
Thank you,
Better
Super
get to that.
Sucker, just getting us off on
Yeah,
one of
thank
those
you, Super
dad
Sucker.
tangents.
Thanks for the check.
Yeah, so our video game book club is a segment where each episode we pick a game that may be overlooked or misunderstood, most likely not in the top 15% of whatever system library we play, and then we'll play it in between each of our episodes and then discuss it on the next episode. We encourage our listeners to submit suggestions for a video game book club and also for us to discuss. You don't have to stick with whatever console we're currently on, which is the original Xbox.
The OG.
It could be handheld or whatever. Just give us a little spiel about why you're submitting it and let us know, and we'll put it in the pool and we'll pick it just like we did earlier. We got another one coming. I'm excited about that one, but we'll reveal it at the end of this segment. So our two games were Shane.
Stubbs the Zombie.
Yeah. And
Lost in Shadow.
yeah, Lost in Shadow for the Wii. So this was the 5th generation console?
Yeah, something like that. I always
Yeah.
forget the generation numbers, but that sounds correct.
All I know is 3 was NES, right?
Yeah.
Because Atari, and then it was like Odyssey stuff was
Okay.
before that, right? So Generation 3 was that, and then 4 was like Super Nintendo, and then the next was PlayStation. So maybe that's 6. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
I get lost on the gens,
Everybody
too.
knows all that. Like Adam Koralik knows all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I always just think of Xbox, GameCube, and PS2 being the same.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I go with.
Same
Yeah.
kind.
I kind of want to go with the dad pick first. What do you guys say?
Yeah, let's do the dad pick first.
All right, let's talk about Stubbs the Zombie. What do you got for us, Adam?
I have nothing because I forgot to pull my stuff up. Give me just one second. All right, so Stubbs the Zombie from the OG Xbox.
When did this come out? I want to say 2005.
It did. It came out in
Yeah.
2000, 2005, October 18, 2005 in North America.
It was a late game. I remember this game's coming out. What the publicity and everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, 2006 in Europe, and it actually has an OS X and a Windows release as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you're one of those people.
I knew it had a Windows release, but that's good. Okay.
At least according to Wikipedia, and it's never wrong.
The front cover said, built on the Halo engine. That was huge in the promotional pump pomp and circumstance. What am I trying to say, guys? I don't even know. It's like it's a weekday. With this, usually we record.
This
on a
was like at the
Thursday,
very
this coming
beginning
out
of
on Monday.
when engines first became a thing, because there was Unreal Engine. You know, they were
Yeah,
using
really
like
pushing
Halo
engine.
Engine for
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Every time a first-person shooter came out, it was always like a game, but it was always built on an engine that they tried to sub-license to make other games.
Yeah.
Like I remember like Crytek, you know, with like
Crytek was
Crysis, you
huge,
know,
yeah.
and all those.
Quake was big.
Yeah.
The Quake engine.
Quake Engine
It's like
did a
blast
lot.
processing back in the day or something. That's
Oh,
the thing
yeah,
they're pushing
man.
now is like the
Yeah.
engines. So.
The Quake Engine, I'm pretty sure, wasn't the Quake Engine the one that they did Nightfire, they did
Oh, they did a whole bunch of stuff
they
on
did
Quake
a
engine.
ton,
Yeah.
but like ones that you wouldn't think, that like Half-Life and all that kind
The
of
thing
stuff.
that weirded me out is when they started taking these 3D engines and making 2D games out of them.
That is
You
weird.
know?
Yeah.
but that was like a whole thing in the late 90s, and they're still doing that too. Like you'll be
They are.
playing a 2D platform and they're like, oh, built in Unreal Engine 4, and it's like, well, that seems unnecessary.
Yeah, everything's built in Unreal Engine.
Yeah,
4.
that seems like not the right thing, but sure, thanks guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
But yeah, this was like one of the first games I can remember that was actually marketed, you know, as like, oh, here's a game built
Yeah.
on this other popular game's engine kind
And
of thing.
it had a lot. They had to have spent millions of dollars kind of promoting this game. So, yeah, what's the stick on this game, guys? What's the thing? I picked it, right? So
Yeah, so it's basically there's like a suburban utopia, Punch Bowl City.
Punch
Yeah,
Bowl,
Punch Bowl,
Pennsylvania.
Punch Bowl, yeah, Pennsylvania. And there's the opening scene is a little unnerving's not quite the right term for it. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little off kilter.
So there's a guy and a girl sitting in a park
Yeah.
on a blanket, getting ready to share opposite ends of a hot dog, like eating it,
yeah.
which isn't.
All a Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, only
Yeah.
instead of like spaghetti, it's like a foot long hot dog.
Yeah.
So that I don't know how I feel about that. That's a
Well,
little odd, but
I don't know why you're reading between the lines.
I'm not reading anything between the lines. I'm just saying it's a weird way to start the game.
I always
That's-
go to Buck Night, right?
but
the
that's,
Royals selling
I'm
football.
not making it up. That's the way the game starts.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden a zombie pops out of the ground and kills both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that zombie happens to be Stubbs.
Stubbs, and he was a salesman
Yeah.
in his
Yeah.
Traveling
living
salesman.
life.
Hard-boiled salesman. He's still got the cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah. So it's a third-person action game
Yeah.
from the perspective of a zombie. And I will say this came out, 2005 was a little ahead of the whole zombie craze.
It
Yeah.
was. This was before zombies were like everywhere.
Yeah, and it was close because they started like 2006, 2007, then it went crazy, and then of course all the way up to Walking Dead. But the Dawn films. What am I trying to think?
Yeah.
That's,
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
Night of the
films.
Dead, Walking Dead,
All the of the Dead
Yep.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Romero's,
28 Days
yeah.
Later got
Yeah.
that was the 1st one that was like, oh wow, this is realistic and scary and whatever, and indie and all this.
The zombies move too fast.
Yeah, but it has a Fallout vibe to it, where it's like an aw shucks 50s
Sort
old
of.
school
Yeah.
beaver
I
cleaver.
actually think of this as being so. It's like it's super campy. I think is the right word.
Yeah, it can't be. Yeah.
But this puts me in
B-movie.
mind of like an early Tarantino movie vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where it's-
Tarantino for family friendly.
Yeah, family friendly ish, but it's very self aware and very tongue in cheek, and it's totally like a spoof of itself or like a B movie kind of spoof
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So and it even like I don't know the game is in it's the Halo engine, but it's in some kind of a filter that makes it look like one of the Grindhouse films or
Yeah.
something, you know,
The
where it's
cutscene,
all
yeah.
you know, it's all like faded out looking and looks a little bit weird. And I don't really know how to describe this game, and maybe you guys will disagree with this characterization. It is good because it's like on its own. If you just look at just the basic mechanics of the game, you're like, this isn't all that great of a game, but it is good. It's the best. It's like watching a really good B movie. You know what I mean? It's like watching a really good bad movie or something like that because
Yeah.
it is so campy.
Yeah, it's like, well, how are you going to play a game from a zombie perspective? It's either going to be fast and crazy, and
Yeah.
because you have to be able to think about it. So they kind of show that this guy still has a little bit of his life personality
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
there, because he like gives this big speech like when he's talking to a bunch of zombies and
Yeah.
trying to inspire them.
Yeah, he's
and
the
in front
zombie
of-
leader,
Yeah, and he's in
essentially.
front of the American flag, and he's going brains,
Yeah.
brains, brains. and he's basically like giving this huge climax speech while with only one word, and that's like the joke, but it goes on for like a minute or two.
Yeah.
And then of course his the way he kills people is also equally campy because the mechanics are you don't just go up to people and eat brains, which you do, and it's pretty visceral. It's kind of cool. Like you walk up to somebody and like, oh, yep, I just ate their brains.
It's very visceral because also one of the moves is you
Spewing
pull
out
like
everywhere.
little pieces of your own intestines out and throw them like bombs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those that's
Yeah, they
there's
got some
kinda-
cool power-ups, man. It's really
there's
cool.
a few different
Yeah.
mechanics. So one of them is, as you mentioned, it is. Oh, sorry. If you're hearing plumbing, we're in the basement. So one of them, you rip off your arm.
Yeah.
And that one's cool.
Yeah,
You turn to Cousin It and you can like stealth.
Yeah.
And that's how you take people over. So
Yeah,
you
take
rip
'em
off your
over.
arm
That's
and all of a
cool,
sudden
man.
you get from the perspective of the arm and you jump on their head and then you can use them to shoot their buddies.
Yeah,
Okay, that's one of
that's
them.
awesome.
It's great. I don't know what the names of them are. Another one is you could take your head off and
Oh,
throw it like a
bowl-
bowling
yeah,
ball.
that's so cool.
And then it'll blow up a la like an RPG.
I don't know where all these like exploding body parts came up in
Yeah.
zombie lore.
Well, I think
but
it's just he's got so much fermented brains.
Yeah.
You know, if you technically all those
it's,
gases.
you
it's
know?
built on science.
Yeah. And then of course pulling out some of your organs, you could throw them like bombs. And then he's got this big, gross, like gassy fart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Nuclear
move.
That's the
fart.
stun move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
it can get a little repetitive. I
Yeah.
do wish. I feel like if it's a good size game. So the length of this game is only about 6 hours,
Yeah.
6.5 hours. Not super long.
It sort of drags a bit.
But back
yeah.
then, games were expected to be a lot longer. I think you can still make this game now, and it could be like a $30 game, and everybody would be happy about it, or they redo it. But actually, I don't think we were talking about it earlier. I don't think they can remake this game.
Yeah, the soundtrack on this thing's awesome. Man.
Yes.
Here, let me get some of the artists here.
Yeah, so they basically take. I love it when they do this. Like if you ever see like Beatles songs played by like other modern people and their take on it, even though the Beatles obviously they're iconic. When you have somebody else putting their spin on it, so they have all this cool licensed music that is all these kind of 50 like lollipop, but you know it's
with
like
the twist, yeah.
yeah, it's
with the new
check
artist.
out the soundtrack. You can find it on YouTube. It's pretty cool to listen to.
Yeah, it's like Death Cab for Cuties on there.
Yeah.
Cake.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some bands I don't know. The Walkmen.
Super 2005 bands.
Yeah, the Flaming Lips. I love the Flaming
Yeah.
Lips, man. Super
I
cool.
saw them in concert. They
Really?
actually opened
Heck
for
yeah,
Death
man.
Cab for
I
Cuties.
like
Yeah.
Flaming Lips.
They were a lot better live too.
Milton. There you go. Yeah, but I don't know. Just it was modern bands just doing a little twist to it.
Yeah.
It's super cool, man.
Yeah, so I don't think they can. It was an Xbox exclusive. I think
Yep.
you can only play it there. I don't think you can download this anywhere, right?
No, not that I'm
No.
aware of.
Now I believe it is compatible with like Xbox 360 and maybe
Maybe the
Xbox
One?
One.
Maybe.
I don't know about One. At least I think 360 you can play it on there.
I
And
bet
then
it's on one.
it might be on.
Yeah.
Okay, they only made about 45 games that you can do with One
Okay.
from the original Xbox. That's it, like
I'd hope
40,
that'd be one of them.
45.
And they're all Call of Duty.
Yeah, luckily they're not.
Call of Duty.
Luckily, a lot of them are pretty good. All the Star Wars games and stuff.
Yeah,
but
Battlefronts, man.
This is all before Call of Duty. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What else did you guys kind of take from this?
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of you beat up and eat the brains of whoever it is you're going after, and then they become your zombie minions.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit weird because it's very light RTS kind of stuff, but
Very light, yeah.
Yeah, but you can whistle at all of your other zombies and kind
Yeah.
of direct them toward where you want them to go. Mm-hmm.
It's not a very difficult game.
Oh no,
No.
it's a super easy game. I actually just for fun. In some ways, it's even a broken game, but you can forgive it just because it's so campy like
Yeah.
that. Like I said, it feels like a movie it feels like a movie that's supposed to have problems, or maybe you see the guy behind the prop or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's like really forgivable for this kind of stuff just because of the whole vibe it throws off.
Yeah.
But like a couple of times I was just like, I want to see if I can just run through this and not even fight anybody and just go to the end of the level. And you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can totally just run right past everybody and go to the end of the level on almost all the levels.
But nobody probably ever did that because you want to eat everybody's brains.
No,
or
because
kill
you
everybody. It's
actually
freaking
want to
awesome.
play it.
Yeah.
But the other interesting thing is too, because it is built on the Halo engine.
I love this
and I did
part,
not realize
yes.
that when I very first sat down to start
Yeah,
playing it
the
earlier.
driving stuff.
But
Yeah.
you get in these cars. And you're driving around, and I thought, God, this feels just like old.
Yeah, man,
the
it's
first
like
Halo
driving the
or whatever.
Warthog is so amazing. I love it.
So yeah, you drive around, and it's 2-player co-op, so you can drive around the vehicles and have a buddy in there with you too while you shoot at people. and do all these kinds of things. And the other thing I thought was awesome is that like the people who you're fighting against or whatever, they have all this audio commentary and they say all these little snippets like, "Oh no, don't eat my brain," or "Ooh, that hurts." They just say these really funny things while you're doing your stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's all this like there's sort of this constant audio feedback and sort of gibberish coming from everybody in the game.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of fun. But
The dance routines. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot to the game.
It's just so different.
It is. How much does this game go for? I remember this is a game, Shane, you wanted it for quite some time.
Yeah, a long time. The weird thing is, man, I rented this game when I was in college. I rented it, and it just sat there, and I never played it. And so I returned it, even got a late fee on it. I remember that. And then, it's been like 10 years, 15 years, and then finally found it. So
awesome.
It's going for 58 complete.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So I figured it'd be more, though, because it's just a unique
It's Xbox.
game.
Yeah, OG
it's,
Xbox.
Yeah,
OG
it's a
Xbox.
harder to find game. I actually have a copy.
And like I said, it's not like they're going to remake that thing or anything with that
not easy to
soundtrack.
find.
There's no way.
Yeah, 58 for an original Xbox game is actually pretty high. There's not many that are higher than that.
That's
the funny thing
true.
is it doesn't look like it would be in an like. I think I got mine for like $5 in a bin full of like just other random Xbox games.
Yeah.
So I mean, you might get lucky with it.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I actually think bought mine real early on when I was kind of collecting a long time ago. I think that's how I got mine. Like not bad, maybe $15 when it was getting to be 22.
I had to drive like 30 minutes to get it and to buy a bunch of this like junker games because it was in there, and I was like, I'll just buy them all. Let me get that game.
Yeah. So as we say, original Xbox is a great system to collect for. Usually plays really well. That you can get component video out from it pretty easily. Those things are usually a pretty good beast and easy to mod if that's your kind of thing. But the OG Xbox, if you're going to collect for it, you probably would have already before us.
And just as a quick sort of plug, I played mine through the Pound HDMI cable, for it.
Yeah.
And it's not perfect. Honestly, the gripe on all the Pound cables is that the visuals are always dark.
Yeah.
But it actually does play. I mean, it plays reasonably well, and there's no lag and all that kind of stuff. So I played on a 4K with a Pound HDMI cable.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Back of the box. What do you say?
Yeah.
So let's go read the back of the box as if we were in the old rental phase, like as we were saying, and going and check. I miss this stuff. I know it's stupid. I know they'll never come back. I miss going.
It's
and
not
seeing.
stupid. When they go and study our civilization, this will be all that survives.
Yeah. Like even that Captain Marvel movie, when she fell in a blockbuster, I was like, best part of the movie. All right, here we go. We turn it over. We're like, Stubbs, Rebel Without a Pulse, Be the Zombie. From the executive producer of Halo. Ooh. In bold font. Meet Edward Stubbs Stubblefield. During the Great Depression, he was down on his luck traveling salesman. Now it's 1959, and he's a zombie with an insatiable hunger for human brains. How could this happen? The answer lies buried somewhere in Punch Bowl, Pennsylvania, a high-tech city of the future built by the world's richest man. Punch Bowl is a paradise of hover cars and helper robots where crime and pollution simply don't exist. It's the perfect day, safe, clean, convenient. Stubbs can't wait to move in, have the last laugh on humanity, indulge your appetite for destruction, eat brains, possess the living, build a zombie horde, bring civilization to its knees. Play a zombie show in the futuristic city Punch Bowl that they can't escape the past. Convert your enemies into unclad. So it goes on. But it does talk about the soundtrack. Here it is. Stubbs the Zombie soundtrack featuring all new versions of 1950s era songs as performed by humankind's best artists. Buy it now at fine retailers everywhere. Shoutfactory.com. Well, that would have been fun. Shout Factory makes some good stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think the back of the box would have sold me. I wish it would have given a little more. There's a little gruesomeness to it, but the front of it is just like Stubbs, like you said, with the cigarette holding out, just like looking forward. It's such a 2005 game.
Yeah, this was right before you couldn't put cigarettes on, a game or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, before Joe Cool turned into
before all the Joe
Get out of our
Camel
school
things. Yeah,
yeah. So I totally dig it. I'm gonna go with 4.5 baby bottles out of 5. What do you guys say? It's your own vote. You don't have to agree or disagree.
I'm gonna go 4.
Okay, 4.
Yeah.
All right.
4.5.
Nice.
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
All right.
Great game.
So yeah, with an
Different.
average of 4.332, I'd say that I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know if that's right. I'd say that's a wonderful game.
Yeah.
Pick it up. It's expensive. Find it cheap. Unless you're money bags, and find it for however much you want to pay for it. Unfortunately, you can't really play it much anywhere else. So, what a great little game to play. Moving on to our other one. What do we got?
Lost in Shadow for the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah. Wee. All the way home. So this was a listener pick. I have heard of this. I hadn't played it. I owned it because I picked it up cheap and I heard kind of good things. Buried treasure kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I loved Echochrome, and many people don't know what the heck that is, but that was a game back on the PlayStation 3. It was originally a demo back when they started having demos where you play as shadows, where you're like, Echochrome is you're like this little wooden doll thing, and you walk and you manipulate the foreground, kind of like what's the Nintendo one everybody likes, the one with the toadstools.
Oh, Treasure Tracker?
Yeah, Treasure
Tracker?
Tracker, where you kind of
Okay.
move stuff, but you're using the shadows, and it helps you walk across planes and things. And basically, if you could create a shadow, like if my hand's here and my left hand is one place and my right hand is
Echochrome's
2
a
feet
crazy
away,
game.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
no, I've played it. Yeah.
So you're
I never
basically
played
trying to
It's all about perspective.
Perspective,
You want to
yeah.
rotate a level. It's like those illusion mazes kind of thing, upside down staircases, and
Yep.
you
I
know,
forget what those are called. There's a name for
yeah,
it.
there is a name for it, but basically you have to configure a level in a certain pattern to get your character from point A to point B. You have to make the right things overlap. It's kind of a puzzle game and
Right.
a platformer built into one, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So tell us what you got about it.
So Lost in Shadow is a Hudson / Konami developed
Hey.
game.
Buzz.
And it was released in North America on January 4th, 2011.
2011.
Or,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm looking. That's the Wii U release date.
Okay, good. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was released.
I'm guessing 2007. Let's just see.
8. I'm going to go 8.
Okay.
Yeah. Go 8.
Dun dun dun.
Well, no, I think it actually is 2011 for the Wii.
Really?
It's 2011 for the Wii, and then the Wii U is 2016.
Whoa, 2011.
Yeah, so I guess it must
Because
have
the
been
Wii was
this
already
one. Yeah, so this
5
was
years old.
Yeah, this would have been late.
Late.
This is a late
release, yeah.
release. Okay. Yeah. So developed Japanese. I listened to a interview about this. Were you done with your stats?
Yeah,
there?
I'm done.
And the premise of this game was what started this is how do you create a game like this? And so we describe it again. This is also based on perspective. You have a foreground and a background, and basically this kid gets separated from his shadow, and you play as this shadow trying to get back to being with this kid. So you are watching, let's say, a block and like a cavern where what is it? Kids always walk on it. Like when you ever walk with your kids and all of a sudden there's like a higher plane made out of concrete for them to walk on. They always want to walk on it. I don't know what like it's anywhere, like just a little walkway or a little
ledge.
a barrier or a ledge.
Yeah.
You're using that and you're trying to change the camera perspective and move it ends up basically moving the sun so you can move the shadow so you can get from place to place. But
You're
then,
playing as the shadow.
yeah, so you have to know that, hey, 2D works. But in 3D, if you rotate something towards the camera, it then becomes 2D, even though now it's a 3D object. To your 2D self, if you rotate it again, then all of a sudden it lifts your shadow up to a top new level. So, God, I hope that translated to something. If that sounds like gibberish,
That's
probably.
hard to say. Yeah, no, you're good.
So anyway,
it is hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but you're basically imagine, when you're a kid and you're looking down and looking at your shadow, you're playing with your shadow. What the original designer, the premise of the entire game was based off Shadow Tag when he said that, I was like, I forgot I used to play Shadow Tag.
I remember
all
Shadow Tag,
the
yeah.
time.
Tag.
Every kid plays Shadow Tag. So you and me are outside, and because we're outside, we're throwing a ball around. We notice the ball is there, and then we can't like hit each other and play normal tag. We play Shadow Tag. So I try to tag your shadow, and we both look at it. So if you and me are right here and I go like this and your shadow's right there, I could tag it, and then it becomes a fun game where you're not looking at me anymore. We're just looking at each other's shadows. So we're trying to run and tag each other, knowing that like with perspective you can get higher and lower, and you just like tag. You probably did it as a kid.
We played Uncle Sam's Red River. That's what we played back in my day.
I don't know what that means.
What? Uncle Sam? May we cross your red river? And then you yell out a color, and then you'd...
No.
Yeah, so you're... Nobody
I thought you just cutting yourself, turning the river red or something.
No.
Stand by me.
Yeah, no, it was freeze tag, shadow tag. I mean, they were all different variations of tag.
Yeah, I don't know the actual name of it, but yeah, so you start with one person in the center.
Okay.
And then you yell out a color, and then you just keep tagging people, and then they go off to the side.
Okay.
So you have a big group, but then you try to get down all the way to the last person. So when it gets down to the last person, it's just one-on-one.
Do kids play games like this anymore? They just play on the tablets?
Probably not. They probably just play on
tablets.
So, but if it's one-on-one, you beat them, and you go to, like, you play this in basketball courts, and you touch the other side, then you won because you beat Uncle Sam.
All right. Well, we'll have to play it sometime.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go out back right now.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's one of those things like a card game where you just like play a couple of hands and you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
I break my leg right now.
So anyway, this game is pretty simple. If you look at videos of it, you kind of get a good gist of it. It starts out pretty simple. And I will say, as a puzzle game, it doesn't get very hard.
Yeah.
You can kind of blow through it if you've played any game kind of like this. And I feel like even...
modern games, though, just to back up for just a second, to explain this game, so I don't mean to cut in too much here.
Go.
But I think of this as being like Playdead's games, Inside and Limbo.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you're saying Playdead is a developer, and Inside and Limbo are modern games.
Correct. Like if you've ever played Limbo, especially Limbo, or Inside... If you like those kind of games, you will like this game.
I think so.
I also compared it to like Fez in a way, like it moves the background. Well, I know.
Yeah, Fez would be like a 3D
and then the
version
sound
of
also
it.
sort of like.
Or what I was going to say too, some Mario games will have one level where it deals with light and pattern, or you're in a ghost house and you can only see the background or the foreground. It is kind of like that. Yeah, it is kind of like an Inside, but I think Inside it moves a little quicker. This is more like. You'll run for about 10 or 15 seconds. You'll be at a stopping point. You have to figure out how to advance. But also you have to, in order to get through a level, you have to get 3 kind of keys in order to open. So you could kind of get stuck in a level for a while. And you have to look in all the nooks and crannies, which I really liked about this game because I'm that type of player. I like when I get into a new room, I check all the everything. Like everything just to open it. I know it's weird completionist stuff, but I'm like, oh, if there's ammo here, I'm gonna look in all the things because if I was playing this in real life, I would try to get all my ammo to get to load up, so then that way I could kill the next person or whatever in whatever game. So it's not. I don't think it'd be a great game for kids. That being said, 10 years old and up, it'd be fine.
Yep.
There's some violence, so to speak, where you actually start fighting and having combat later in the game, and it's okay. It's nothing crazy. I wish that the color palette changed a little bit more. You're kind of still... it's kind of minimalistic, and it doesn't change a lot throughout the game. And I only played a couple hours of it, and then I didn't... I just kind of looked at some other video beyond that. Yeah. But I feel if you've never played a game like this, like Limbo or those, like this would be a good entry. Yeah. And then I'd say if you liked it, play Limbo or Inside, even though those games are super scary, yet awesome. I loved Inside.
I loved both of those games. I've played through Limbo and Inside both multiple times.
I think when we started the podcast, I just played it, and it was like, it's if I had a top 25, if I did that kind of list like that, I would probably put Inside.
Oh yeah, it would definitely be in my top
25
indie games for sure.
But see, you're saying indie game, like I don't know. I mean, like all time. Where would you
really
put this?
all time?
All time 25. I would put it in my top 25.
I'm not sure if I'd put it in the top 25.
Yeah,
but it'd
be low.
It's a really good game though.
Yeah, I always.
It's surprising. It makes you think really hard.
It makes you feel. How about that?
Yeah,
like
it makes you.
I like
feel.
Yeah, that's just it. Like I'm getting the age now where I feel like
it's got
the feeling you get from playing a game.
It's got something unique about it that kind of sticks with you. You think about it when you're not playing it.
Yeah.
It sticks with you after you played it.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a real cool game. But anyway, that's Inside. We're back to Lost in Shadow. What do you guys think about the music? I thought
I liked it.
It's all right.
I
It's
thought
not,
it was
it's not good.
cool.
It's not
I thought it
bad.
was
It's just,
I liked it.
it kind of had the aesthetics of Eco. Some people call it
Yeah, yeah.
Ico.
Yeah,
I thought it was better than
that's-
that. A lot of people like Eco. Eco ICO is a game on the PS2. Probably got re-released.
It's on PS3 as well. Yeah.
And that's a game that everybody back in the day was like, "Oh, this is before
Yeah,
hidden
that one's
gems were
boring.
popular." Yeah, Eco was cool and it was different, but I'd still take Shadow of the Colossus over Eco. And
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, without hesitation.
especially now the
Those two
controls
go
are really
hand in
tough.
hand, yeah.
Yeah, and you're also doing escort mission throughout most of the game.
Yeah.
You know,
Escort missions just kill me in games. I mean,
yeah.
generally
They're usually
speaking,
the worst.
really the only game that has significant escort mission stuff that I can think of that is like on my all-time faves list is Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lost in Shadow. So we don't keep overly describing this. I think if you like puzzle games, if you like platformers, unique platformers, which the Wii has a lot of, it's inexpensive. How much?
Yeah,
How much is
18 complete.
Oh, that
It's-
much?
Yeah, it's sort of jumped up.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
gone up. It's been in a lot of hidden gems kind
Yeah,
of videos. and
really?
stuff,
It's if you could go to GameStop, I looked it up and it was $8.99. But
Oh.
I checked our local area, nobody has one.
'Cause I
So
think I
it's
got
probably
mine.
getting pretty hard to
I
find.
think I
now.
got mine at a GameStop when it was still $4.99.
Yeah.
So randomly it's popped up. Sorry,
Popped
but
up.
you can find this thing probably for cheap.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like a lot of the Hudson Konami games around this time, it doesn't seem like they were very high print run for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like Wii. They made so many of them. Who
Yeah,
knows?
who
Now, I just think a
knows?
lot of people just
It
throw
got
away
it got
their
buried
Wii.
behind M&M racers and
Buggy
man.
Tune.
Buggy Tune Adventures.
Could you imagine
and,
trying to go for a complete
Carnival.
Wii collection?
Dude, there's
That
some
would just
there's
be
some out there that
daunting.
exist.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What up, Casey?
Yeah. He's
There-
a fellow dad. See if he's
Yep,
listening.
fellow Dan.
Yeah, there are a few out there, man. And the thing about Wii is there's some games that were like unique only to Mexico or
Yep.
only came out in like Costa Rica or someplace. Like there's some oddball games that only came out in like one country or so.
Yeah.
Forget
something.
about it, man.
That was during all the fitness stuff too. The Wii is an interesting.
They just made
console.
another Just Dance for it.
They
For the
did-
Wii.
You're right.
Yeah,
They're still making Wii
2019.
games.
Just Dance.
2019,
Yeah,
my
Just
God.
Dance. Get on it, Shane.
Oh,
Get your
How would you feel if you just completed and you're like, complete it, it's done. Done.
Yeah,
No.
Just Dance 2019 comes out.
Would you pay full retail
Do you know-
just to get it done?
Do you know
just
what,
get that
do you know
thing
what the
done?
worst part of having a complete Wii U collection is? I mean, aside from having a complete Wii U collection,
That's what I was gonna say.
is you have to buy like 10 Just Dance games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next to the last release is a Just Dance.
And you got to keep getting them.
Dude,
That's same with
I bet they'll
PS3.
pump those out for another 5 years.
Dude, for the
man.
last 3 years, the only game that's came out other than Axiom Verge is Just Dance.
Yeah, it stopped even coming out for the PS3 or
I wonder if
360.
they still even make a
So-
Just Dance on the Wii U. I wonder
Yep,
if
they
are
did.
Did they?
Yeah, they
Okay.
did, yeah.
Okay.
So the Wii U and the Wii got a release, but the 360 did not get a 2019. It stopped at 2018. And then,
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, the 360, right? Is that what I
Yeah,
said? And
yeah.
PS3 stopped this year too. So it didn't. They gave it for the Wii and not the PS. It's crazy. to
That's
me.
insane.
But it shows there's a lot of people who just still
Yeah,
play
man.
those.
There's
Yeah.
400 billion Wii U's out there.
And a lot of people.
Wii's out
How
there.
about this?
Yeah.
My sister. I just got my sister a bunch of games. I'm not trying to talk crap on it, but my sister and my niece, and my niece is like 6, and my sister's a couple years older than me. They play Just Dance and they love it.
Yeah.
They play it for the
Yeah, they're-
Oh,
360.
my kids love it too.
and
you know.
and it's and all there's so and Zumba and all this other stuff. So I went there and the GameStop had the 3 for $15 or 4 for $10 sale. I just bought a whole bunch
Buy
of
'em all.
games, and
Yep.
I was instantly the most popular dude
Yeah,
in school.
just
Yeah.
Dance is so
No.
dumb too. Because my son and my daughter, they like the little music and they kind of bob around to it and everything. But you can literally just take the Wiimote and just kind of like tap it on the table, like as the song's going on, and get like 100% or
Gotcha.
whatever. They'd be like, "You're a great dancer." It's like awesome because I've been sitting on the couch.
See, they do the Connect version, so it really watches
Yeah, it
your
really watches
your
you.
outline or
Yeah, you
whatever.
can't cheat with the
we got
Connect.
the Switch version. I had to shell that out this Christmas.
Oh yeah, we've
It's
got
like,
we've
yeah,
got one on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids, like I said, man, the kids
Love
play it up.
it. Love it.
Yeah, it
They
burns
just
up
played it the other
energy.
day, yeah.
Fine,
They
they
just played it
jumping
the other day.
around.
Yeah, no, I ain't mad at it.
I'm all about it. All right, so anyway, back to Lost in Shadow. I would give this I'm kind of between a 3.5 and a 4. It does what it does. It does it well. I'm going to say 3.5 just because it's not super hard. It's not super long. It doesn't vary all that much. And since then, There's kind of a bunch of other games that kind of do this. It is still neat. I'd say if you find this game for $5 and under, pick it up. It's cool. It's also a fun game that anybody could play if you got someone who doesn't know how to play video games or that just likes video games. It's fun. It's a good one for kids to do problem solving. I always think that's huge. Like, if you get a game that makes a kid work without having to, of course, do like fun and numbers, alphabet, like the kids' games meant for kids never work.
Yeah.
But the games that kind of subtly have them thinking kind of outside the box a little bit, I think.
It's like, I mean, it's sort of like, you know, particularly the same part of your brain is like Portal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It's definitely there up there. It's not in the like to 15% of known. You know, they made what, like 1,800 Wii games. This, if I only got to pick out of 100 Wii games, this would be in the 100.
Probably.
You know, if I got to pick
Yeah.
out the top 100 Wii games, I'd put this in there easily. It's probably in the top 50, 75, something like that.
Above Santa Claus?
Above Santa Claus.
We fish.
Yeah. I know that doesn't
bless.
really help it out. But anyway, that's me. What do you guys think was a grade? If you want
I
to
think
don't
three.
grade
I
it,
think
whatever.
3.5 is a good number for it.
3.5.
Yeah, it's good.
I concur.
All right, good. So that was our Video Game Book Club picks. Thank you so much. Make sure to send us an email or send us a Facebook message with a little spiel about adding in a new one. Let's go ahead and cut to it. We had our randomizer. We picked in between the episode where we picked a listener pick, and I will let Adam reveal this listener pick. Go ahead, Adam.
I'm actually pretty excited about this one.
Yep.
It's a game that I have a lot of the nostalgias for because I played the dog out of it in college, and that is Time Splitters Part 2.
Yeah, Time Splitters 2 by Derek Lower. And you know what I think? I not like it's a bad thing. I think we picked Derek's game, and then, you know, when we pick it, I think this is his second one. Derek, let us know. Derek Lower was our cereal seller.
Yeah.
Serial killer. He's not a serial killer, just kidding.
No, we were the serial
Whoa.
killers. He was the supplier.
Yeah, he sent us a big old box. We had a cereal
He was our
episode, and
dealer.
he sent us like
no.
Yeah, like 50 boxes of cereal because he works for Post.
Maybe.
Post, yes.
Maybe.
Post, yeah. Thank you, God. We should remember that. Post, but all that fun stuff. And I think because we picked his game, he picked another one. It was Time Splitters 2.
Yeah.
And Xbox or
I don't know. Are we
PS2?
going to pick a specific system for it, or let's?
Let's just whatever we all got it for.
I mean, I've got it for GameCube and Xbox.
I've got
I
it for
believe.
Xbox.
I think
as
I got
well.
it for Xbox.
How about this? Are they all the same?
Pretty
Pretty
much. I mean, it's
I'm
there's
just saying
graphical.
content,
There's,
not that.
there's graphical updates.
Content and level changes.
I mean,
weapons.
Xbox
think
is
they're-
very superior, so.
No, I know, but I mean, like, besides like some clarity, there weren't like specific differences in the game.
I don't think so.
no,
I mean,
think so.
I don't, from what I remember back in college, because I think the Xbox and GameCube versions are very close to each other. I
Okay.
think the PS2 version's a little bit of a graphical hit.
Yeah.
But that's kind
And
of
then
what you
trying to
would
do
expect.
multiplayer with that probably was a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I played it a lot on GameCube, and it plays good on GameCube.
Yeah.
But it also plays really good on Xbox. So
Yeah, I played a little bit on Xbox. Not that much. I've only played like 20 minutes of it. This one I didn't play, so I'm excited to do
Yeah.
that. So our video game book club pick for our next episode, which would be what, 48? Did we announce our episode number here?
Yeah, we did.
So
Yeah.
we're
We're on top of
47,
it.
and for episode 48 will be Time Splitters 2 by Derek Lauer.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, a dad pick, Shane.
Yeah, Dad picked Shane for our Xbox. Closing out our Xbox picks.
Xbox.
What do you got?
I'm going to go with Curse the Eye of Isis.
Yeah.
I don't really know anything about this. I own it. But
Where'd you hear about this game?
I heard about it from you.
Yeah. It was a game that I felt was up your alley, and I showed you some
Yeah,
stuff on.
no,
I was like,
it-
dude, you need to get this game.
Just the cover alone looks just interesting.
Yeah.
It's like freaky looking, like some survival
I think
horror
it's,
looking.
It's Curse
just-
of Iris, isn't it?
Iris. No,
No, it's IRIS.
Oh, okay. I thought he said ISIS, like the terrorist organization.
I did
but-
say I.
Oh,
Yeah, I did.
I don't know. Is it Iris?
No, it's
IRI?
It's ISIS. Ice.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Is
Ice. Yeah.
that how you pronounce it?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Whatever.
The Kirk of Isis. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, ISIS.
Okay.
I think. Uh-oh. I don't know. Anyway, it's the cover of it. I never heard of this game until about 5-6 years ago. this has bypassed a lot of buried treasure lists. So you heard it here first. Some listeners will probably have heard of this game, but not many.
Not many at all. Like one of our listeners / friend, I'm friends with him to the podcast. He had a double of this, and we did a trade, and I was like, "What is this game?" And looked at the front cover, and my cover's even more beat up than like the front, because the front's sort of like a weird guy's face on there, very scary, and my cover's even more beat up, so it makes it even scarier.
Yeah.
It's like totally awesome.
It's kind of adventure survival game.
Yeah, so
it's not survival horror, would you say, but it definitely has some of those elements.
Yeah.
It's kind of got like Egyptian tomb, kind of like The Mummy, if The Mummy wasn't like a hokey.
yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, and it was a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
But it got some really cool mechanics, really cool graphics.
I really know nothing about it.
Yeah.
I'm just going straight off front cover
Yeah.
and what you told me. So
Yeah, I love this game. I'm excited for some of our listeners to hear about it and maybe pick it up. And you know, like with anything Xbox, you can maybe find it. Your game store might have it, and for a
yeah,
good
it's
deal.
only like $20 complete or something. So
Yeah, so that'll be our video game dad pick. Jury's out on how to pronounce this last thing. I just think it's
I don't know.
ISIS.
I never hear anything about this game, so
Yeah.
this is gonna be awesome.
Curse, the Eye of Isis. Pretty sure.
Iris, who knows?
Yeah, one or the other.
One or
figure
the
it out.
other. We'll figure it
it out by next episode, and then Time Splitters 2. This generation's getting a lot of love. We haven't had an NES game for a whole episode and a
should
half.
system
What is
link.
going
We
to
should
be our
system
next
link.
system? We've done PS2, we've done Xbox. Is it GameCube next?
How about it can be?
Let's
I haven't
do
thought
it.
about it. Maybe we'll say GameCube will be next. Yeah,
might as
I
well.
think we're about
All right.
there.
I like it.
Yeah, that'll be fun. All right, moving on.
Yeah, so we've got. I'm kind of getting excited about something that's getting ready to come out,
Uh-oh.
and I don't know
Keep
if
your
anybody
pants
else
on.
is or not. No, pants are on.
Okay.
No need to get weird around here.
Mine
too
are
late.
off. Mine are off.
But I've kind of been watching the new. We've talked about this off and on over the last year. It seems like.
Yeah, it started with you, and it started with a pipe dream. Honestly,
It
Yeah,
kind of did,
it did.
yeah. But
Yep.
so I'm talking about the PolyMega again. The PolyMega. But so there's new sort of information kind of slowly dripping out about the thing, and really the more interesting thing, rather than the information, is the fact that like people from the press
actually got to play
and
on it,
individuals, more and more people are getting to play the thing.
right. This thing is now playable.
Yes,
Yes.
it's playable, and the multiple people
It's
have
real.
played it. It's
Yes.
real.
It's real
been,
people.
It's been demoed. It looks like it's been. I mean, there are units that have been demoed that look like they have hundreds of games on them, and people have been allowed to go into just any random game on there and play it.
Yeah,
for
people
many-
have actually gone up and took a random game and put it in there and it
yeah,
played.
Yeah,
So
for many system, and they all seem to like work and play well and not have a lot of lag or weird audio issues or any of the rest of it. So I'm kind of getting excited about things. It's supposed
Yeah.
to ship in the next few months.
Yeah.
And Shane and I have one ordered now, so
Yep.
I Shane got on the bandwagon too. So
We'll give them a quick nickel tour. So this thing, you guys were talking about it, and you said, "Hey Ben, you need to get this polymer." And I'm kind of in this weird mode of my collecting where I
Yeah.
have everything I want. I do have a lot of disc-based games, and I still have my original Saturn. I knew this played something. It needs, it plays your disc-based games, right?
Yep. On the base model, it plays disc-based games. How
Yeah.
many? 5 or 6?
so there's a base model, and the downside of the PolyMega just out of the box or up front is that it's expensive.
Yeah.
But it's a modular system.
Okay.
So the base unit, like just the box,
Right.
Yeah.
in and of itself is a CD based system, has a 8-speed CD-ROM drive.
Yep.
It's basically got kind of a low end Intel computer in it
Mm-hmm.
that's got a bunch of optimized emulators and 32 gigs of internal memory out of the box.
Okay, 32 gigs. All right.
So not a tremendous amount of memory or anything like that. But I'll go into hardware a little bit. They have announced that it's going to support sort of a standard solid state hard drive like you would put in a PC.
So it plays all your old games. It doesn't do any Wi-Fi. Doesn't do any of that. Just
It's got Wi-Fi
No,
on
it's
it,
got
I do.
Wi-Fi, so
Yeah.
it's all upgradable and everything.
Yeah, and it's gonna have
it's emulation. Just to be upfront, it is
Yeah,
emulation.
it is emulation.
Yeah,
It's supposedly going to have an online store and everything, which is
Oh,
what the Wi-Fi
okay.
will be used for. But it has this hard drive on it. It takes SD cards. You can put a solid state drive in it.
Okay.
And the base unit is the CD unit essentially. So it's going to accept PS1.
okay. PS1.
And it's also region free. So PS1 around the world.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Saturn
really
around
cool.
the world.
Ooh.
TurboGrafx / PC Engine.
I'm
you know.
selling a bunch of import games at MoGameCon.
Neo Geo CD.
Nobody has that.
I have quite a few.
Do you
Neo
got a
Geos.
few?
Oh
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
I've got
man.
a big stack of Neo
Nice.
Geo CD
Heck
games.
yeah.
Yeah, because if you're going to collect Neo Geo, man, the Neo Geo CD games oftentimes
and actually-
are way cheaper. Than
And actually, a Neo
the-
Geo is supposed to run a little bit, or it's supposed to run a lot
It's
faster.
supposed to load.
load really
much
fast. So
faster
that's
than the
awesome.
original,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
is always the knock on the regular
Yep.
Neo Geo.
Cool. I don't. I
CD.
mean, sounds awesome. I don't have any Neo Geo games. Even a lot of collectors. That's pretty niche.
Yeah. That
Oh
is
yeah,
niche.
it's very
Yep.
niche. Unless you're in Japan, I mean, I think there's a few more over there, but
Okay.
even in Japan, it's a little bit niche. But
Yeah.
but Neo Geo CD, and then also Sega CD.
Sega CD.
So
all
that's
right.
a
All right.
that's
So the
awesome.
cool thing about the system is, in order to get around copyright issues and everything else, you have to have the original stuff. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
At least right now, there's no way to sideload ROMs into the thing.
Yeah, which somebody
Now, will somebody figure that out in the first 3 days it's out? Probably.
Probably,
But the way it works is you put your disc in and you can play your game. You can play your game immediately. You don't have to wait for the disc to do anything.
And in high def, right?
And in high def
Def,
through an HDMI output to your standard high def television.
Yep.
Okay.
Like 1080 or whatever.
has filters, all that jazz.
Yeah, it has
Yep.
filters. You can put scan lines on it if you want, all those kinds of things. But while you're playing your game, the PolyMega will actually rip the game off of the disc and put an image on the internal memory.
Okay.
Okay, so
Freaking
you put it in
amazing.
once, you play it, and then that's all. That's the only time you ever had to put that disc in, unless you delete the original file that's on your internal memory.
Okay.
Supposedly, or what they've said is, I believe it's 3 terabytes that you can actually expand the thing to. Is 3 terabytes.
That'll fit a ton. Of,
But 3 terabytes is basically almost the entire. I mean, 3 terabytes would encompass pretty much the entire PlayStation and Saturn catalogs, together.
So you can get an external 3 terabyte hard drive.
No,
X.
well, with your SD cards and your solid state drive on the inside.
Oh wait, inside it has that much.
no. So it'd be
So there's 32 gigs built
Sorry.
in.
Got
Yeah.
it.
There's a micro SD card,
Okay.
so you can buy whatever size micro SD you want to put into that slot.
Okay.
And then you can also buy a solid state hard drive, just like you would put in a
Gotcha.
PC.
So you buy a solid state.
Yeah.
hard
Correct.
drive.
So
Okay.
that's additional.
Yeah,
That's
additional,
more expensive.
yeah.
But
you
it
know,
can't
et cetera.
be anything but a solid state.
No, it's designed for a solid state.
Oh,
drive.
okay. Okay. That's gotcha.
Now, whether or not, I mean, I would not be surprised. There's supposed to be firmware updates and so on. So I imagine in a firmware update, if they wanted to, they could expand it to external hard drives.
yeah. Which
like they did
when you
with
look at that,
PlayStation and
doing the
everything else.
updates and stuff, that to me is cool. I like that because then they could add games to because I mean they don't have every single game, but if there's a problem with the game or something's messed up, like with emulation on one,
Yeah.
they could change it and make it right.
So
Yeah, and
So
supposedly,
it's a possibility.
just for clarification, though,
Mm-hmm.
you buy the solid state drive on your own. It's not a PolyMega
Yeah, yeah, correct.
specific.
Mhm. Yeah.
So how much do those go for?
it depends on what size you get.
Well, yeah, let's just say 1 terabyte
1 terabyte, you get it for around $50.
of a solid state.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah,
that's how
I
much
think
the
it's
got
solid
coming
cheaper.
down.
They've
The
got
solid
cheaper.
state
They jumped
terabyte's
down.
only
Yeah.
$50 now.
Yeah, I mean, you can spend more than that. Yeah, but I
know.
was pricing them the other day on Amazon. You can 1 terabyte's will run around like $50 to $70.
yeah, memory's starting to jump.
And a 2
mean,
a 2
hard
terabyte
disk,
a 2 terabyte
yeah.
will run you like 150, 130 to 150 ish kind of range.
Okay.
So it's still additional costs and everything else, but for my purposes, what I would like
50's
to
not bad.
what I would like to do is be able to take all my CD based games, put them onto this system, and then keep this system just connected to my TV and not have to mess with
Right.
Yep.
getting everything around. So I think it looks really cool. So I'm
Turbo
kinda,
graphics too, right?
yeah. So I'm kind of getting jonesed up about it a
That's
little
pretty.
bit.
That's pretty awesome.
I know, and, like,
if you got a
it's-
big TurboGrafx collection, if you got a big Saturn collection,
Yep.
I don't have a ton, but Sega CD and Saturn, I'm sure I have less than both of you, but I don't know, 30 games, something like that, maybe 35
Oh wow, yeah.
ish. So I mean, that's a good little chunk, and then
Yeah.
old PlayStation. I don't, again, not a ton, but that's another.
But the
Yeah.
cool thing is that a lot of people I don't think are talking about is like me and Adam, we're already talking about, we're like swapping baseball cards like right now. We're like, hey man, I'm going to trade you this and we're going to just put it on our hard drive and then just trade out what I don't have, he has.
How long
Boom.
does it take to do a game?
It
burn a
varies by
game?
game. I mean,
It
it depends,
varies,
it
yeah.
depends on the image size, but it's an 8-speed drive. So I think for a full CD, like it's something that takes up 700 megs, I mean, you're probably talking like 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
To rip the game.
So not,
So you just have a
not
little
terrible.
party.
Yeah.
A little ripping party.
Little rip party.
But I mean, only on the games you own.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it looks pretty sweet, and then the interface of it
It's really clicky and
broken
sort of
up
like
by-
a Netflix type
yeah,
of deal.
Yeah, it's broken up by system.
Okay.
You go into the game, and then it tells you about it. So it links up online with an online database that's constantly updated with these games. And supposedly people are going to be able to provide, like, say you want to play an RPG from Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, that's only available in Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be able to sideload in translations and things for
See,
for
they have
games
patches
that are
and stuff like
translated,
that.
or
Yeah, that's really cool.
or fans translations and that kind of thing. So there is some space for that, and of course they're trying to have, I'm sure homebrew and then some of the original content owners.
Well,
to be able to
Yeah,
put
and that's the
things
thing is that they
online.
said they want indie developers to develop for this system, which I don't know how that will go.
Well,
real
honestly, I can
sense.
see it.
I
mean,
can see it going okay.
with things like
you know?
NES Maker. I mean, there's so many new homebrew NES games out
Yeah.
there. I think it's a lot of people. I mean, if it's an open enough platform,
Yep.
there's going to be a lot of like NES homebrew, because right now NES homebrew is still kind of this underground thing, and it would be
Yeah.
awesome to have a system that, I can get online and then be like, you know what, I want to play Guitar Hero on the NES, which actually is a thing.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
download it for 99 cents.
Yep.
And be able to play like NES homebrew right there without having to go to my computer, find the ROM,
Yeah.
pay for the ROM or whatever, put it on an EverDrive, move it back over to my thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's first world problems, but it is kind of cumbersome to have
Yeah.
to mess around with all that stuff all the time.
Just honestly, a
it's all in the
realistic
box.
way to play these games with a reliable console, because honestly, those other old consoles are not super reliable.
Yeah.
Sega CD, you can get one that's working great and you can pay for it and hope for, but anything can happen. Saturn, my original Saturn that I got back from my friend, still works, but like I don't know how much longer it will.
Yeah.
Well,
My
and
Sega
the other
CD
thing-
broke down the other damn day.
Well, and I always think about, with Sega CD and Saturn in particular, disc rot,
Yeah.
those kinds of things. And if you were to take these games that you own and put them on a solid state drive and have it living in there, then you get to keep your case and everything else. But if you don't delete the ROM, you still have a place that it's backed up someplace that you're still going to have access to it.
Right.
And hold
Which
second.
is
Here
cool.
comes the Raspberry Pi guys.
Well, there is always the Raspberry Pi, and
Yeah.
people talk about that.
But what's really cool about this is like, so controller configuration, it's already configured, it's ready to roll. So you're going to
Yeah, you
plug
don't-
and play. I mean, it's just plug and play
Yeah, I
on
mean,
your system.
I think it's
That's
just
really cool.
Yeah, it's just another way to do stuff. But I mean, I'm not trying to sell it too hard, but I am more
Yeah.
sold on it than what I was
Yeah.
previous.
And if we
months.
get
I
it
mean,
and it stinks, we'll let you know too.
Yeah, we'll let you know if it
definitely
sucks.
let you know. I mean,
Yeah. So say $300
$300 for the base unit, but
free
then,
shipping.
probably
no,
not.
I don't think so.
No,
Yeah.
they get you on some shipping.
but then there are these modules that attach to it too. So there's a TurboGrafx module that'll play Hue cards like PC Engine or TurboGrafx.
Yep.
There's an NES module that I believe supports NES and actually I don't think it supports Famicom. I could be wrong about
Okay.
that.
So they have ones for all the cartridges. And
Yeah,
Correct.
cartridges.
There's
So
one for
then you
Super
can plug it-
Nintendo. There's one for Sega Genesis Mega Drive.
And then also with that, you could plug in the original controllers
Yeah.
too. So that's cool.
Yeah,
'cause
so
we
you can
have
use
those,
original
you know?
controllers. Then they also have new controllers that kind of mock up of the original
Yeah.
controllers, kind of like retro bit controller.
Does it come
kind
with a
of thing.
controller?
It does.
Okay, so you at least get a controller.
Yep.
You get the ability to play, Neo Geo, TurboGrafx CD. Not many people have that. You're talking a percent of collectors,
Yeah.
really. But you have Sega CD, Saturn, and PlayStation, and,
Yeah.
and those are all very big libraries.
Yeah.
And you have a way to play them in HD really well, and it's your own games, and it rips them on there. It sounds pretty good. I think I'm definitely my pendulum is swinging towards pre-ordering it. Kind of just depends, but I really think I don't know. Kind of sold me on it.
I think you watch a few videos, it might.
Well,
sell
I don't
you.
know. Like I said,
saw-
I'm not trying to be a total pitch man of it. It's
Yeah.
just here lately. I mean, it looks like
Yeah.
I'm excited about it because it looks like it's not just
Yeah,
a piece
because
of
people
junk
have actually,
vaporware.
people have actually played it and
Right.
said it looks
So
good, play good.
we'll see when it ships, and I'll play it and let everybody know whether or not it's actually a thing. We have between Shane and I, we have 2 of the base units pre-ordered, and then we have 1 of each of the add-on units.
the modules.
So we have everything PolyMega
Right.
that PolyMega has available.
And for me,
pre-ordered.
the modules, just me personally, I'm not super interested in the modules because I can play other cartridges and things like that. And then you have the analog.
Yeah, the
analogs.
analogs.
I know that's
For
the
that
sort of
kind
the thing. If this plays really well, it's going to be like
What's the point of having the analog?
sorta. Sorta.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Well, the one thing that the analog...
Because it rips those too, right? It rips
Yep. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one
Yeah.
advantage that analog currently is going to continue to have over
It's not
PolyMega-
emulation. Yeah.
It's not emulation, and an analog will play other devices like EverDrives.
Yeah.
And
So,
PolyMega.
so it's sort of
PolyMega's
like having
not-
an EverDrive on yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
PolyMega will not be compatible with all those aftermarket things
Yep.
like EverDrives and Game Genies and
Okay.
and crap like that.
Yeah,
But I have original hardware, so it's sort of like like when I
Like I said, the way I'm going to use it, because I have the big game room that has all the systems set up and
Yeah.
everything else that's in the game room, but this is going to be in a separate area of my house that has an HDMI output. And potentially, I mean, what I would like to do for the podcast on down the road is actually do a little bit more recording, a little bit more streaming perhaps, and all those kinds of things. And this is going to make all of that, all that headache so much easier.
Right.
On down the road. So
originally
this is,
yeah.
this is just very much a simplification kind of device or machine, I think, for the future, if it actually works well.
cool. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks really cool. I know you guys feel like pitchmen, but I just think you're talking about something you're excited about. That's what happens. It sounds
Yeah,
good.
no, I haven't been excited about it like a piece of new hardware in a while. Probably since
yeah.
Switch came out or so. I
Yeah.
haven't been that.
Quick segue. There's going to be some new Switch coming out.
Oh, yeah, the
we talked
Switch-
about
the
that
Switcheroo
earlier.
Lite.
Yeah, we thought about the Lite. We thought there'd be a Pro. Evidently, the Pro might still happen, but the bigger news is they're improving the original Switch pretty slyly. You guys heard about that, right?
Yeah.
They're upping the battery life.
Yeah, but like doubling it.
Yeah.
That's pretty significant. Going from 3-4 hours
I'll
to
end
like
up getting one probably
7.
at some point.
And the
Well,
thing
the
is,
the Switch Lite has an extra double the power. Or
Not
No,
Switch
no,
Lite.
Okay.
just the regular Switch.
regular Switch. Okay.
So the regular Switch, they're not even really changing anything about the box. They're just saying that, hey, they've done a revision, which just happens a lot in hardware where they'll make a revision just like kind of like subtly,
Yep.
but the battery life of the regular Switch, starting with some new SKUs, which this just lets you know, if you're in the market for a new Switch as of right now, wait. Make sure you get, because there's going to be on the shelf a bunch of old Switches and a bunch of new ones, and you won't be able to tell the difference unless
Get
you're
the
a
new one.
spy.
Yeah.
And but get the new one. It won't say, "Hey, new Switch with double the battery life."
Pro tip.
On the sticker. It will not say that. So look up specifically what.
And
what
it comes
that
out
looks like.
soon, I believe. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to start shipping August, September, something like
So
that.
they were
like here pretty
saying
soon.
like you could play it for maybe 2.5 hours, playing the Breath of the Wild, in handheld mode, and go down, make your battery go down, or you can get like 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I'm not too upset about it. That's kind of what happens after a couple of years. But the Switch Lite is interesting.
I'm going to call it a dumpster fire. I don't care.
I like it.
I
I have a totally
I
different
think the
perspective on
colors
it.
stink.
It's the color of your shirt. One of them is.
Is it canary yellow?
Yeah,
there's a yellow
one's
one, yeah.
yellow, so you can't talk too much bad about it. But I like your shirt more.
I don't know,
agree.
man. I think they're cool.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm not.
So
one
the
of them.
colors-
My biggest thing. Okay, the colors. I'm not really sold on.
Well, let's talk about the colors before you what
Okay,
are the
okay.
3 colors? There's yellow,
yellow,
It's like blue,
Turquoise.
kind of
turquoise,
yeah.
a crappy turquoise.
and then
Not
there's
even a good turquoise.
Isn't one of them purple? Right?
Yeah, or something. And then there's the yellow one.
Yep. Yeah. So
And
there's,
then there's
The gray. There's the
Gray.
Well,
matte-
the gray
matte
one. The gray one is there's like a Pokemon.
Oh, then there's a
Japan
Pokemon
only
one.
version.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually almost pre-ordered that one the other day.
That one I think looks
because
the
it looks
best.
cool.
So
Yeah.
the screen's a little smaller. Let's just get that out of the way,
Yeah.
right? And the Joy-Cons do not come off, so it's all a solid piece.
Yeah.
And
Not
you
mad at
also
that. Yeah.
you also can't make it beam it on the TV
No TV.
at all.
Forget
There's
it.
no TV output. So
What are you switching?
yeah, exactly. It's called the Switch. Really, it should be called the solid, the not moving.
The best thing about it, it's got a D-pad. To me, in my opinion.
Yes.
So this is the crazy thing that they're making another original Switch with Joy-Cons and everything.
Yep.
Longer battery life, but then they have a handheld. The battery life is not as long as that one. Why? I don't understand that.
It's cheaper. It's like
Yeah,
it's
it's
going to be
cheaper.
$100
You couldn't
cheaper.
throw in that battery though. I mean, it's handheld. You need that
I
battery to
bet
be
you,
longer.
Here's
right?
the thing. I bet you the
Right?
battery will be longer
Yeah,
because
'cause
the
it's got a
hardware
smaller
itself
screen.
is a smaller screen.
Yeah, they said like the battery life is like 20% better than like the original Switch
Yeah.
that came out. But why can't they put in the big battery in there? Though?
Well,
You need to.
Because it's
It's,
smaller.
yeah,
handheld.
it's smaller and it's the light version,
man.
LITE. You got to cut
I don't know.
the
I
calories.
think they're cool. I'll end up getting one at some point.
The only thing
yeah.
I give it props on, it would be good for a kid. Like to me, for a kid, it would be good for them because you're not breaking those Joy Cons apart and everything.
Yeah.
But
But their
I just don't-
tablet, they're breaking their neck again. Like I, if my kid plays with a Switch, I want to, when I see him like looking down and staring at a screen, burning his eyeballs up, I want to be like, okay, we're gonna go and put it in a mode where you're looking up at the TV, so
Yeah.
you're not gonna start not growing horns. Did you guys see
But-
that thing where
But-
you look
but-
down too much and you grow horns?
That's sort of the thing. I don't understand why they couldn't throw it on the dock though and have it on there, and then they could sell a crap ton of docks. They don't need to bundle it with the dock, correct?
Saving money.
Yeah, but you know what else could happen, or I think might even be likely to happen in the future is the PlayStation
3DS goes away.
Well,
sorry.
3DS is this is the official death knell in the 3DS, so that is true.
Official, unofficial. Yeah.
The official, unofficial, yeah, death knell. But I could totally see Nintendo at some point being like, okay, well, we gave you a handheld only Switch. Here's your TV only Switch, and it's just a PlayStation TV. You know, just like that, just like Sony has the Vita, and then they have the PlayStation TV.
But then the whole point of it is called a Switch.
Yeah.
You're not switching
True.
anything anymore. I hear you. They might.
If you made a box like a PS TV that was $70 like a PS TV, that I can plug in my TV that plays my Switch games, I'd probably do it.
But the dock itself isn't much. It's
Right,
It's the
yeah.
Switch itself that's got all the
Yeah, what has
components
the
to
guts
it.
in it?
Correct,
That's what I always
yeah.
wondered. So that,
No,
is that the problem?
The dock, the dock is just a piece of plastic. It doesn't have
Okay.
anything in it.
Yeah.
Okay. So they couldn't probably fit all that in there, that little thing, right?
Well,
Is that
without the
problem?
screen, I guess you could. Yeah, I guess what Adam you're saying, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is you're saying, well, if you get rid of the Joy Cons and you just have hardware,
I'll
in
just
there.
play with my Pro controllers on the TV with the
Yeah.
little box
Yeah,
that connects
yeah.
to the TV.
Okay.
I honestly wouldn't be. I wouldn't be upset if they broke it into two completely different systems and you just had the option to have one just always attached to the television.
Yeah.
You know, that my kids wouldn't come and take it off and lose it.
I know, but I
and,
keep
you
going
all
back
this
I would
to
other
like a
it's,
stuff.
pro
called,
version
it's
like
called
that.
the Switch, though. Like that
Yeah.
was the whole selling.
So-
Well, but you
point
can
of the system.
switch your cartridges from the TV thing to the handheld thing.
Yeah, I guess you could switch. You could pull out a switch and cut yourself because you're so frustrated. You
Yeah,
gotta get
I
up.
don't know. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind a system that I can play the same games on a dedicated handheld and a dedicated home console.
I'm just Debbie
doesn't-
Downer on it.
Yeah.
The dock
But what
thing
else
is
do-
my
when you
biggest
saw
thing.
Well, but you still have the you can be Debbie Downer on it because you don't have to buy it.
Yeah,
like
true.
just
Very true.
just keep the one you got if that's the one you want.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is, for guys like me, I'd be perfectly happy to be like, oh, I've got the handheld only one. My kid can play with that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play the same
Exactly,
the,
that's what
the
I was
same
saying.
system
Yep.
on my TV.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think it's perfect for a kid.
Like,
to
I think if
have.
they broke it into two completely separate systems, that would not be a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I said the kid thing, yes, to the degree of like I don't know, like it's what. How about this? When I saw a PSP, I loved it, and then when you're getting when you get like console experiences on a handheld, at least to me, that's why I never really fell for the DS or the 3DS, and I stuck with the GBA because there was this aspect of, well, the consoles that this is kind of emulating was at a time when games didn't get super overblown. Like Hellblade looks awesome, I've heard, and stuff on the Switch.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't think I'd ever play a game like that in a handheld.
Yeah,
I want
version.
a more console experience. And when I got my PSP, and I was a day one adopter of the PSP, and you guys know I love the PSP. But one of the things that I never talk about negatively about the PSP is when you play a game that's like a console version, like GTA or something, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is just not as fun as playing it on a big screen because you have like, there's so much going on. There's something to be said about a simple gameplay with simple sprites and not having to worry about a HUD and all this other stuff because it just kind of goes away. And maybe the high definition changes it, but that was the PSP kind of in a way.
Yeah.
And it didn't do well.
My dream piece of hardware that doesn't even exist is a dedicated console that plays Sony UMD disc from the PSP on the television, like without having to put it in a PSP actual console and put it on the TV or anything.
Yeah, they tried to make that. That was going to be a thing.
Yeah, that was
really?
going to be a thing. I would love it if they would actually have.
I know
have
a
produced that
UMD
thing.
player. I bet someone could like make a UMD player pretty easily.
Yeah.
Actually, you could kind of just take a PSP and make
Gut
it.
it.
Yeah, so
take
if anybody's a
that
console modder listening to that,
That'd be
to this,
awesome.
get on it.
Yeah, because it feels like you're from. It
I
feels
will
like
pay
you're from
you
the future.
$3.50
let's-
for one.
So you got kind of our hot takes on
Free
it.
shipping.
$3.50.
Here's a
That's all
big
yours.
plus for me for the Switch Lite. It's $199. I think they nailed the price. Really, I think
They're going to sell roughly. You may not like them, and a lot of people who are haters on the internet and stuff, who it's not even for, aren't going to like them. They're going to sell exactly 100 billion of those this Christmas.
You think?
Oh yes.
Well, what's been interesting is the numbers show that people who adopted the 3DS have not actually jumped over to the Switch
really?
yet, and that's why I think you're right, Adam. Is when you look at 3DS ownership, the percentage of people who own a 3DS that own a Switch is less than 10%. That's crazy.
Yeah,
to me.
they've probably seen that number.
That's because 3DS has an awesome
But
library.
isn't that a weird thing? That kind of took me back. I was like, whoa! I thought
Price
everybody
points
who
are
loves
a crazy
Nintendo
thing,
has a
price points
Switch.
are a crazy thing
Yeah.
because you got to think anything over $500 on a console does not sell.
Yeah.
Nothing sells. Jaguar didn't sell.
No.
Yeah,
What else? I mean, go down the line.
yeah,
3DO didn't sell.
This Christmas, every
PS3
single kid
the
that
first
does not
2
have a
years.
Switch
Yep,
already
didn't
is
sell.
getting one.
Yep.
What'd you say, sir?
I said this Christmas, every kid that doesn't have a Switch is going to get one.
yeah. I could.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to be the thing.
Yeah,
it's just
and
not my thing. I mean, I'm hating on it, but it's just not my thing. I mean, if people want to get it,
if
get it,
you're a
definitely.
person too that you
Absolutely.
think you'll play portably, for the most part, it would be a good get.
I only play mine portably, and so
Yeah.
that's part of the reason I don't have a problem with it. I never play mine on
I'm
the TV.
actually 50-50 because some games, it's so funny how I'll play Mario Odyssey. I'll play it in handheld mode, and then I just can't do it because my hands and the Joy-Cons. I have to play with the Pro controller, and then I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But I'm like, oh, the screen's so small. And I played Mario Kart recently a lot. So what I've been playing is I broke out the Switch and I played in handheld mode, and it was fun. But I just think Mario Kart's so much better on a big screen. Myself, I don't know. I feel like I could play better.
I love it.
I feel like I could play better with the other one. So I'm about 50-50 to be honest with you. So that's why the Lite wouldn't make much sense for me. If I didn't own one, I would be kind of, well, shoot, I might as well, because this other Switch Pro, quote unquote, is evidently still a thing. So we still might see another SKU of the Switch.
Interested to see what
a lot.
that
Some
is.
people thought maybe that would be this new battery one, but other signs are showing that you're getting a different one coming out. So maybe it'll be coming out closer to the PS5 and the Xbox, whatever they're calling it. Do they say what they're calling it yet?
What, the Xbox 5?
Yeah, whatever it is.
No, it's still the Scarlet or whatever.
Yeah, Scarlet. Yeah, they're still calling it Scarlet.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's going to be, the Xbox.
They're going to find a way to mess it up.
Yeah, the
Who knows?
Xbox 720
Gosh.
Triple
They won't
X.
know what
They don't know what to do.
Yeah, they're just gonna call it the, it's gonna be like just an X, like to the X power or something.
Yes.
Yeah, they're gonna get a little too cute. I'm
Yeah.
afraid.
They mess up everything.
we
Damn
won't
it.
get one probably unless maybe one of your
Come
kids.
on,
one
I
of
have
your-
a feeling actually when they named the Wii U, Nintendo just hired Microsoft's marketing department. They're like, what should we call it? They're like, how about Wii U? Like, it's fantastic. Print it.
Well,
And then they gave them back to Microsoft.
I mean, I honestly like the name.
Fired.
Even though when it came out, I was really confused. I think the Nintendo Switch is a great name, but also now I think it's taking a step back
Yeah,
because of it not being a Switch anymore.
yeah.
Like that was the whole thing. Like when they showed the promotional equipment, it was these teenagers up on an attic passing their Joy-Cons back and forth. And
Yeah.
you could still do that with a Pro controller, I guess.
Yeah.
Or you can buy other
The
Joy-Cons.
Switch Lite still connects to Joy-Cons and external
You
controllers.
just buy extra $70 Joy-Cons. So then your
Yeah,
Switch
or a
is
pro,
$270.
or a Pro controller
Right.
or whatever. Yeah,
So,
but it
Get
still,
you a kickstand too.
Yeah. So if you bought 2 extra, you'd be at
$270
$270 if you needed that. So yeah, a Pro controller makes sense. There's a lot of those $20 wired. Does it hook up to wired controllers?
I would assume it does. I
Does
don't know
anybody
that
have
for
one
a
of those
fact.
wired controllers? Any of you guys
I
Like
have- I
cheaper
have a
ones?
few.
Are
I
they
got
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I always wondered that. They got some really cool designs.
They've got some awesome
I
designs.
know,
yeah.
man. I want to pick them up.
They make
but I'm
them
scared to.
they
'cause
make
it's
them
like
better
Mad
now.
Cats or something. I
No,
don't even know.
they-
No, they
Oh, it's
work
Power A or something.
No.
Right?
Yeah,
You-
yeah.
okay.
There's a few different ones that, but if you buy the ones at Target or whatever,
Yeah,
else,
Hori.
they're
There's
fine.
first party ones. There's a Hori ones. I have a Hori one and a first party one, and they're both
Okay.
really good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both fine. I might have. I mean, you could borrow one if you want, because I got two. I think
Okay.
so. You could check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that's some Switch news. That's some PolyMega news. New stuff, huh? From the dads that work too much. You heard it here last.
A billion people covered it already.
Yep. Moving on.
Hey guys, it's a certain time, and you know what time that is?
What time?
It's time for the handheld holla.
Yeah. All right.
You gotta do the Rock on there, man. You remember you used to do that?
What's that?
The Rock used to do that, man.
Oh, yeah, I do.
wrestling. You'd be like, what do you used to say? Oh man,
You used to know what the Rock is cooking?
and he'd say,
Yeah.
La.
Jumanji. I don't know.
No.
I want to see that sequel. I'm excited about it.
Oh, Jumanji? I haven't seen the new one.
It's good.
I haven't. Is it
Really?
really?
Good.
I was scared that my son
You guys
wanted
didn't
to.
know? No. If you guys have read, it's gotten good reviews. The new Jumanji was really good.
Yeah,
Really?
my son wanted to watch it the other day, and I wouldn't let him because I was worried that it would make me angry because I like the old one so much.
It is the perfect remake where it has the spirit of the old one, but only that. It does not try to tread on that movie, which I think that movie is good, but not as amazing as some people say. I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But it takes its own kind of modern take on it, and it's really funny. And it also has some throwback moments to it where it'll acknowledge the older movie.
That's cool.
But the writing is done. It's kind of like, did you guys see the Goosebumps movie?
No.
Okay, so that one's good too. They made a sequel of that, but the original
Yeah.
Goosebumps movie is good. This one's better, but no, Jumanji, I'd say it's a solid watch for sure.
Well,
like
I'll check it out
it's not
then.
even a
Okay.
skip it. I'd say buy it. I don't know, but definitely rent
I just
it.
looked at it and figured just like
No, I thought it was bad too, but it actually is a really good movie. The pacing is good, the jokes are good, and there's like a laugh out loud moments. I was super surprised.
Have you guys seen? Since we're on this tangent, have you guys seen Shazam? The new Shazam?
No, I heard it was good though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, my kid enjoyed it a lot. I was kind of meh on it.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of meh anymore on pretty much all movies.
Right.
But yeah, not bad actually for watching with the
Is
kids.
that the comic book one?
Yeah, it's the
I
one
have
where it's
no
like
history with Shazam.
it's
so
it's.
I
I mean, it's kind of DC's answer to like goofy comic book stuff, sort of Guardians of the Galaxy kind of vein of things. Although it's not as good as Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
in my
so
opinion.
this is probably the best DC movie.
Which,
comic book-wise.
honestly, the DC movies since the Chris Nolan Batmans have all been poop in my opinion. But
agreed.
some people really like some of them.
I
think
like Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman's okay. My feeling is that most of the DC universe is just garbage.
Yeah.
Which
Aquaman
the
looks
thing is, I actually like
garbage.
the DC comics better than the Marvel.
They're
ones,
making
but-
They're making Suicide Squad again, which is crazy. they're
That
Well,
was
remaking.
since the fir-
garbage,
since the
too.
first one was so good.
Oh, it was so bad. No, but this one's gonna be made by Gunn, the guy who
well, it might
did
be-
Guardians of the
it might be
Galaxy.
good then.
No, yeah, should be. Our handheld holla is a segment where we all pick out a game, might be misunderstood, underlooked. We don't care about any of that stuff
Yeah.
on here. We just want to pick out a handheld game for you guys to listen to. This could be 3DS, DS, PSP, Atari Lynx, whatever. We just go around, and maybe it's a great way for you to beef up your collection, find a game nice and cheap. It could be popular, it could not be, it could be expensive, it could be super cheap. I really like this segment. We're gonna have it
Yeah.
forever. So what do you
this
guys
is
got?
sticking.
I'll go first. So I've got
Okay.
got a game that's available on the Nintendo Dual Screen
Oh, okay.
or the Sony PSP.
What do you got there? What do you got?
It's from a little development studio called Rockstar Games.
That's a little studio.
Yeah,
They're indie.
they're pretty small. They only made like the highest selling game of all time or whatever. I think. I think. Well, it's not the highest of all time. I think it's the highest selling third party game of all time, which is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
But that is Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. That's
Chinatown.
It's a good game.
That's my recommendation.
Never played it, so
it's pretty
I'm
cool.
interested.
I mean, it's a much simplified version of Grand Theft Auto, but it keeps a lot of the humor and sort of cheesiness and everything to it.
Mm-hmm.
I have not played it actually on PSP. I played it on DS, but It's more kind of akin to the old Grand Theft Auto games.
Is it
where
like the top-down view?
Yeah, it's like a top-down.
Oh,
down
okay, it's
view
top-down
of
view.
things, But,
Okay.
and it's kind of like cel shaded-y looking.
Oh, cool.
But it plays really good. It's pretty fun. It's kind of, a lot of little mini games and little quests and different things that you do. But it's a big game, and it's a nice handheld version of Grand Theft Auto. So if you're into such things, then pick it up. It's pretty cool, and it's not hard to find, and it's relatively cheap. I think it runs like $10 on either system. So
Nice. All right. There you go.
I'm going to be super lame.
Okay, go ahead, Shane. What's your handheld holler for this week?
Handheld holler is Cuphead. Because I have super lame, I know, guys.
It's
Everybody
okay.
knows
It's
Cuphead.
it's a handheld
no, man,
game.
it's good on the Switch.
Oh,
dude.
it's so good on Switch. It's so nice having that portable. I almost like playing it portable. Like, it's amazing. I mean, how do I explain Cuphead? I mean, everybody knows Cuphead.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah, we talked about it before.
It's a very, very difficult
10 minutes at a time. 10 minutes at a
Yes,
time.
it's a
That's how I
very
play it.
frustrating, difficult
2D
Contra
platformer.
type shooter, but then it's also got,
run and gun elements.
run and gun elements, got, some little bit
Platformers.
platformer shooters elements. It's
Overworld.
hand drawn,
That's the
old
thing.
Disney.
It's the
so cool.
old school cartoon effects that were all hand drawn.
Yes.
And that's the look of it. Everybody
Yeah.
should know what Cuphead is.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But yeah, Cuphead's great.
Amazing sound.
Yeah, I love
Love it. I love playing it.
Yeah.
My kids try to play and they're not good.
And it's
I know,
download
not
only.
good.
Download only, no physical.
no physical yet.
Allegedly, there will be a physical on the
Allegedly.
Switch. Allegedly.
I will buy that. Yes.
Yeah, that would be great.
Give me,
They
give me
announced
a
that they're-
special edition. Give me some stupid
Yeah,
stuff.
they
I'm gonna
announced
buy
several
it.
months ago that there was going to be, but I've yet to hear anything about when.
Interesting.
or what
I
the
even want to buy the
packaging-
vinyl of that.
And you said how much is it?
What is that? I think it's like
15.
It's
no,
like $20, I think.
it's
If I
20,
remember
30
correctly, because I
range,
bought
yeah.
it too. I think it was $19.99.
If it was $50, it'd be worth it.
So Shane, if you want the soundtrack, the vinyl soundtrack, so there's the full soundtrack,
Mm-hmm.
the big Mega Duty soundtrack, and it's $100.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, like $99. Mm-hmm. There is a smaller select picks like greatest hits, smaller version
Mm-hmm.
of the soundtrack. I'm trying to remember where I ordered it from. I think it was im8bit.com.
Yeah, that's where there's. I've seen them.
and it's like $30.
Hey,
So
yeah,
just
I
to
need
throw
to-
just to throw
yeah,
it out
I
there.
need to I need to jump on
if
that.
you're into video game vinyl, then
Yep.
im8bit
I haven't
might be
jumped
your
on that,
friend.
Lord. Mr. Benjamin, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm
in
going
your
to pick.
handheld pile?
So the Nintendo DS is rather new to me. I'm appreciating it slowly but surely. I've got a little list going that I might try to pick up at MoGameCon. My plan is to have this library be like 20 games max. I'm trying to pick it is still a weird little system with 2 screens. I'm trying to get used to it, but I'm growing to like it because I
Yeah.
found this game that I want to recommend to our listeners, and it is called Henry Hatsworth and the Puzzling Adventure.
What?
For the Nintendo DS. This is a deep cut. The DS had a lot of weird stuff. So there's 2 screens. The top is this kind of fun platformer with the guy that looks like the guy from Jumanji with the gun, with the glasses.
Oh,
like,
cool. Yeah.
And the bottom is a puzzle game. And what you'll do, the tutorial is great. So it's half puzzle game, half platformer, but fun versions of each where you're playing both of them simultaneously. You will get when you shoot like little characters at the top screen, it creates power-ups on your puzzles on the bottom screen. You just need 3 blocks to go together, and they slide, and you slide them with your stylus.
Okay.
So I use my stylus or my finger for it, and when you do that, it powers up your top level and gives you more energy to shoot guns and things like that.
That's cool.
So it helps out your life meter and then gives you bigger power-ups to shoot bigger enemies at the top. And you can jump back and forth just by hitting the right trigger. So you can hop back and forth really quickly and really easily. And it's challenging, but not in a frustrating way.
Yeah.
But it causes you to kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like, hey, I like playing a platformer and a fun puzzle game, and I like being able to quickly alternate between the two and have them help each other. It's a very inexpensive game. Not many people have heard about the dialogue is great. It's super funny, super tongue-in-cheek, real good writing, kind of like the old Paper Mario games where you're like, wait a sec,
Yeah.
you're saying stuff that's like nuanced and hilarious. This isn't just like this go save the princess thing. I think it's really funny, and like I said, the characters don't speak English. They do this, and that might get annoying to some people. I think it's freaking hilarious.
That'd be cool if the Wii U did a lot of stuff like that, like switch between the screens and did different things
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
They did a better job with that. I think that would have helped it out a ton, having unique things like like that.
Right.
You know, that'd have been cool.
Yeah, the shelf
literally
life
just
wasn't long
looking-
enough.
yeah.
Exactly. And I think this is also a cheaper game. You can make it for a handheld because it's less to produce and that kind of thing. So
true.
you'll find it. It's inexpensive game. I think if you pay for it online or on eBay, you might be at like $10, $12.
Oh,
but
nice.
you can find it out. Like I got mine at Vintage Stock for $4.99.
Nice.
So. And it was
yeah.
complete and everything. So it's a great game. Pick it up. Henry Hatsworth and the Puzzling Adventure for the Nintendo DS, and Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars for the DS and PSP from Adam, and then Cuphead for the old Switch. Are our handheld holo picks this week.
All right, guys, we have an event just around the corner.
Yeah, having the old hemorrhoids checked out. Looked at. Wait, what?
No, not that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, different event.
Oh, okay, sorry.
MoGameCon.
Yeah.
MoGameCon, guys, coming up.
August 3rd.
Yeah, way funner than what I first mentioned.
Saturday.
And not Sunday.
August
Only
3rd.
one day.
Only one day.
I'd
Yep.
be nice if they do 2 days eventually. They'll
Yeah.
probably get to that.
I would like 2 days.
Back again.
Yeah, back again.
They did 2 days. You know, they did 1 day, then they did 2 days. Now they've done one. So it's another one. Yeah.
And so we have 4 tables between the 4
4 of us.
gaming dads.
Yeah. So we're gonna have quite the footprint.
Yeah.
I've been working on controllers. I got like 20 PS2 controllers. Like I'm hoarder of all cords, man.
What do you?
So
Are you? Oh, to like
you sell at the convention. I got like so much stuff.
Adam and I are thinking. Come to buy a bunch of PS2 controllers from Shane. He leads with that. Thanks.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have better stuff.
There's
than
gonna be.
that.
I got some RPGs. I got the good stuff, guys. Come
That was
get it.
hilarious.
Yeah.
No,
Not
it was
that
just,
stuff,
It
not
was
that
just
stuff.
funny.
No, I still have a lot of stuff to go through. I've been pulling out doubles and then games that I think I just don't really, like I'm never going to play anymore and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I've been going through slowly cataloging all the games and then also pulling all the games out. And I have like, I don't know, 8 totes full of games, I think, at this point. I don't have enough table for games is going to be my problem.
Yeah, and I think Michael too. I won't speak for him when he's not here, but I'm pretty sure he's got some good games. I know I do too. I've got a good few totes and a lot of interesting, fun stuff that I haven't talked to you guys about it yet, but I think ahead of time, maybe on our Facebook or something, we can post some pictures of some of our boxes of some of the stuff we're going to sell.
Yeah.
I've already got some of that, interesting things, like, different toys, a lot of games.
Yeah.
Any kind of other things you want to allude to that you're kind of checking out? Like I've got some Saturn import stuff, Dreamcast import stuff.
I've got some box sets. I've got some limited run stuff. I've got a lot of like what quote unquote high end PS2 stuff.
Okay.
Which is going to be cheap because PS2 is always cheap.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just have a lot of things that I'm going to be bringing, and then the other thing is too, though. I mean, we're bringing some stuff to sell. We want to go and meet a bunch of people. We want to meet a lot of you guys if you can be there.
That's why we're there first.
And then
Hats and T-shirts. No.
yeah, hats and
actually,
T-shirts. Yeah, and to meet folks. And then also, I've kind of been curating a small list of games I'm going to be looking for while I'm out there and everything else. But I'm really not that jonesed up about buying anything this go around, which makes it different because since moving and having all my stuff in one spot and everything else, it's time to start thinning the herd and curating the collection a
that's
little
what
bit.
I'm
And
doing.
that's kind of my first priority in this is just sort of letting some things go on to new homes where they're going to be taken care of, and then kind of fine tuning my collection to be a little bit more my personality, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing too. I'm gonna get rid of some RPGs that I don't play on, the Sega and stuff. I had an outside, unrealistic goal of like, I'm gonna go for every Sega game ever, Sega Genesis. No, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna get rid of some of those RPGs that I don't play. I'm gonna keep some, but
Yeah, and I
I'm
think
gonna pare down a bit.
we'll
Start
try to have
thinking about that.
we'll try to have some good deals on everything. I think all of us are going to price ours. I mean, we're all individual guys, so we have our own stuff. So we're all each table kind of be our own games. So we're all going to price it the way we need to. But I think overall we all pretty realistic. Sometimes you'll go to a con and not all the time, but maybe one in every 5 tables, you're kind of like, I can get this way cheaper on eBay.
Yeah, I can get on eBay right now and get a better copy.
I
Yeah.
can guarantee that you're gonna get it really good deal from all of us.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So check it out. Just come and say hi.
Yeah, the first thing, come say hi to us.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah,
appreciate
even if you don't
meeting
buy
you
something
guys.
from us,
Yeah.
we'll
Just
meet
come
you.
say hi.
And since it might get busy during the con, I think it best too because we sometimes aren't able to chat very long because someone else might want to buy something, so that kind of takes precedent. I think we want to do a meetup, so this is saying it here first. If you happen to go to this MoGameCon 2019 in St. Louis / St. Charles, and also, you know, we already talked about the guests that are going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, Norm is going to be there, gaming historian,
Who?
and Brett Weiss, a bunch of others.
Yeah.
That we've already mentioned, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and seeing the guys again will be really great.
Yeah.
Got a lot of friends that are there, and we know some listeners that we've already talked to, and I've tried to promote it here and there too, telling people, hey, go out, check this thing out.
Yep.
But we want to do a meetup, so if we're not able to talk with you, and that way we have more time just to kind of not be pressured about having to sell something or buy something or talking to somebody else or feeling bad. There's a barcade called Two Plumbers, and that night, Saturday night, as of right now, 9:00.
Yep.
We'd love to
Come
meet
on
you.
down.
Yeah, come see us. We're gonna go to this barcade, and if none of our listeners show up, we're just gonna have fun and
We're
get
just gonna play
wasted
some,
by ourselves.
Yep. Play some
But,
games.
Yeah, it's a barcade called Two Plumbers in the St. Louis area, 9 p.m. We just kind of, if something changes and we need to change this venue, we'll put
check
it
our
on our
Facebook
Facebook by
Yep.
the day, by hopefully the day before or early day of. So make sure you check it last minute, and we'll make a confirmation like, hey, come join us, and we'll do a Facebook post on it. So sorry if you're not a Facebook person, but you are able to not have to be joined to Facebook to find that, but to find us.
Yeah.
And I'll also announce it on Twitter if that's a thing too, to help out. So that way you can keep tabs if you're a Twitter listener or Facebook follower, and we'll otherwise I think that'll be a nice place to meet y'all. We're really excited about it.
Yep.
I've got little games too, but I'm kind of like with you, Adam. I don't have a lot I'm wanting to buy. I did a lot of that.
I
at
still
the
have
last,
a little list.
Yeah,
Outside
I still
hope list.
Well, for me also, it's kind of like, you know, the DS. I'm like, I never look at DS, and it's fun to actually like have something to look at because obviously
something sort of
PS3
new.
I don't anymore and that kind of thing. But I should have some pretty interesting stuff for sale, and we'll post all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you can buy something from us. Don't ask us to autograph it or something stupid like that. We'll just say no. We're gonna make your game worthless.
Ruined.
Yeah,
It's ruined.
But don't feel compelled to buy anything or buy any shirts. Just come up and say hi. And hopefully we can take a picture with you, and we'll do good about hopefully taking your name down and giving you a shout out.
We
if
did
you
a
come by
bad
and say
job
hi.
last year.
Oh, and you know, this is our last time to say you get something. How about this? I'll throw it out, not to put pressure into you guys. First listener, and this can't be like one of my buddies who's there or something. First listener comes up and comes to our table and says, handheld holla, you can have you have a $10 shopping spree from my thing. $10 of free games, $10 discount.
All right.
Is that all right? Is that enough?
That
I think
sounds
that's
good.
pretty
They
solid.
they can also have $10 in my table.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mine also.
All right.
Mine also.
Well, what about this? Now that we're giving one person $30 worth of stuff, why don't we make it a different thing? So handheld holla for me, and then that person can't do that, and then so handheld holla for Shane and I, and then
No. Pro
What?
tip. You gotta say pro tip if you're gonna.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you're gonna
that's
get it
right.
From
Shane-
me.
Shane's gonna-
You gotta say pro tip
so
for me.
come up to me and say handheld holla. I'm Ben. Go up to Shane and say pro tip. And Adam, what's your segue?
At any rate, I say that way too
do.
much.
No, it's
There you
okay.
go.
You say
Yep.
it anyway. I was gonna say, well, I might have picked up a few things.
Yeah,
Well,
I might have got a couple of things. Yeah,
all right. So at any rate, okay, that was a deeper
any rate.
pull. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Then you get a little shopping spree from us, and Michael. Let's see. He's. Oh, good pull. That's such a good. Michael has jokes, so I won't cut that out. So we have to make a little joke. We all have our little weird idiosyncrasies.
Yeah.
I say 10 million times more than anybody here. Michael does before he talks. He'll do a little,
He goes,
and we give him a little joke because we edit all the
yeah,
time.
Benjamin
so-
and I edit, and you get to learn your own like verbal issues.
Yep.
You know, when you start editing your own voice all the time.
Yeah.
And I have certain things that I do that drive me nuts when I do the edit.
Yeah.
Michael about 80 times an episode goes,
I'm just an editing nightmare, so it doesn't matter.
And we edit the vast majority of those out. But every time he does it, I always cringe.
Yeah. We say it with love, but that's a good joke. Yeah. So since he's not here tonight, we'll say that. So anyway, there we go. Sorry to spring that on the last minute.
Sorry, Michael.
Sorry.
We still love you.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, get a free game. Make sure to take out a 0 of his $100 game. Say, oh no, that's it, buddy.
That's it. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, what do you say? Should we call this an episode?
I think so.
Let's do it.
Sorry, we're gonna have to cut this one a little bit short. We're at about an hour 40-ish. We will handle our emails next time, and that way we can do our shout outs, our emails, things like that. And so sorry we had to cut this one short. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled program in 3 weeks. Yep. So thank you for listening. Sorry this was delayed a week. What do you guys got? Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, give us a shout out. 5-star reviews are really appreciated anywhere you can review us. That way that gives it back to us guys, and tell other people about it. Have them go back into our backlog and say, hey, you like this game? Word of mouth is how we've gotten all of our listeners, and it's really humbling. And we really hope to, in the next year or two, as our kids get a little older and we're able to kind of work a little harder on advertising and trying to getting past our current listenership, which we totally appreciate, but we'd love to kind of grow, because we kind of don't want to feel like we can't get more listeners, because I think there's more out there that want to find us. They just don't know it yet, right?
Correct.
So that's our global power domination is just fueled with, we just would like to have more people listen to us and grow a bigger community. That's it. We don't have any ulterior motives outside of world domination. Pinky in the brain. That's all I'm thinking. Take over the world.
I don't know, man. This podcast fame, it's really.
I know it's gone to our heads. We have to duck when we enter an elevator.
I know.
It's pretty bad.
I'm beating people off with sticks.
Yeah, my head's so big. When I tried to tie my shoe, I did a somersault. Well, everybody, thanks for listening.
Dad joke.
Dad joke's up there. Thanks for listening. Hope to see you next time. Thanks so much. See you later. Episode 47 is in the books.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.